Alrighty then. So,
There are some weird things I want to try, honestly.
that's not the first
Like
thing you want to say when I've loaded up the stream, but sure.
Oh, I wanted it to be the first thing they heard.
That's fine. Okay. So, hello everybody. Welcome to the Dawn Seekers. I am here with my players. Sudz.
Hello.
Harlan.
Hello.
There is no Sam. Simon.
Hello.
Will.
Hello.
And Infernal is here. You unmuted, then muted again. We didn't hear you.
Yes, hello.
He is here. He's here
Hey.
because he wants to be sneaky. And I'm not going to spoil anything. It's in the intro. Spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen anything, go back. Go back one episode. That's where everything happens. So.
Yeah, we did the entire campaign last episode.
Yeah, everything went campaignish. So, usual announcements. First off, thank you to Zenosa for the artwork being put through. Currently, Queglod and Elsyan are being done. Once they are done, I just have Ghaakt to come through, and then it'll all be ready. And hopefully in time before Christmas, but probably not. If not, then oh well. Also, thank you, Matt. Other announcements. Thank you to Tabletop Audio for the free service you provide. Still best audio thing out there, and still developing new things that I can use in my D&D. I'm looking forward to the things that will be coming through. And since we first joined Tabletop Audio about a year ago, I think our anniversary is a year ago in 2 days. So you just let that sink in. It's been a year we've been playing this game already. This campaign.
I mean, that it's a year we've had like tabletop audio. I think like for the first couple sessions we didn't even have that.
Oh yeah, maybe, probably. But either way, if that is the case, then that's great because Tabletop Audio, since I joined, it has added the Monster Pack, the Jungle Planet, Film Noir, Steampunk, and Castle Raven, along with a ton of other sound effects. It is constantly in the works, and it is a great place if you want to grab your D&D resources for sounds and effects. Just great place to go. Let's see, what else is there? Dungeon Paint Studio, useful for making maps, like this. I don't know why I've still got these here, I'm never going to use them. Yeah, I can get rid of all of these. Oh wait, no I can't, some of these are stacks. That one can go. That one stays, that one goes, that one goes. There we go. Oh, I've got one over here. Never mind, they can all go. Alright. But yeah, Dungeon Paint Studio. Then you have Incarnate for the more detailed maps, like this. Very good if you want to leave clues or if you want to just add things in which are very useful. So yes, that is the those are all of the announcements. I'm not going to say anything about an internet service provider because they are neither good nor bad this week. And I have no reason to say they're good. It's been 2 years of issues, so I will only ever say bad things. Anyway, that's off topic. So, now we get into this heartwarming campaign with this lovely intro. Last session, our party of adventurers, Sasha, Queglod, Elsyan, Bhold, Malcom and Ghaakt, fought a large worm-like demon within its home lair, fighting against several other wraiths at the same time. Bhold managed to resist the magical shackles that bound the remainder of the party, while he suffered in silence over the truths he had done so much to forget. During the intense battle in an act out of his own hands, he was puppeteered into felling Ghaakt to the ground, before himself collapsing after a few crucial strikes against the demon at hand. With the battle coming to a close, and Bhold on the ground, no longer just knocked out, but killed outright. With the party panicking and barely scraping at victory, the party went to attempt to resurrect Bhold using Revivify. But with Behold's choice and the pain weighing heavily on his heart, he didn't return. The pain too much to bear. With the party shattered and morale down, the party heads back up, filled with sorrows, rage, and some with nothing at all. So, as you guys are heading back up, you're heading with the dwarves. One of them is knocked out, currently still driven with madness, currently being dragged along. Arachne carrying Behold's lifeless body. The rest of you travel through. Queglod, you're wrought with whispers and words. You shake them off and you resist them as best you can. But the last thing that you seem to be playing over in your head, over and over, is the image of Behold dying. The fact of that there was nothing you felt like you could do. Even though Behold was the one who gave up and decided to go to the spirit realm, there were ways to save him. You pain yourself over it, going through and looking through all of the memories, what you can remember. You pick out every detail, meticulously investing into what you can. Everything okay?
Yeah, my brother just logged in.
Ah, okay. As the rest of you are traveling, morale is down, Elsyan is silent. He's surveying the situation. He's very aware that he doesn't want to say anything out of place. He doesn't seem to express any emotion. He doesn't seem to say or do anything. He walks alongside Malcom, but otherwise not saying a word. You travel back up the steps, past the old dwarven hall. You head back up through the stairway leading to the entrance of the mountain. Continue further up, and you head into the dwarven encampment. As you reach the edge of this, and you head in through the door, the people are surprised to hear you return. People come out celebrating, smiling. A few individuals kind of run over and ask questions such as, did you kill it? Did you win? The guard says yes, and he kind of knows very well how you're all feeling. He ushers the crowd away as best he can before the captain comes over. So you managed to do it. You defeated whatever was down there. What's wrong?
One of our companions went down in the fight.
I see.
You'll understand loss after what you've faced here.
Do.
Give us a bit.
We understand. All
Hey.
right. He kind of leaves. He heads over to the other guard, asks what's wrong with him. A few other guards come over after the situation's dealt with. The individual is shackled, put in chains, and what is put into effectively... It's not a holding cell exactly, it's more like a house, but they're just locked in there.
A quick question. Is this the one who was brought back from the dead, or was this the one who was just
The one who was
survived
brought back from the dead.
And he is now insane?
He is now utterly insane. None of you can fathom in your right mind whether you're going to be able to bring him back from that.
To like some important looking guard, you don't... It's not pretty down there. You won't like what you find down there. It's not... Bad stuff was happening down there. So, bring your most stoic and unflappable people to clean it up. Because otherwise you might lose a few more along the way.
Thank you for the warning. I'll go let the captain know. He seems genuinely worried after being told that. He goes over to his captain, says a few words. The captain kind of... He looks down almost in realization as to what that probably means. He tells the other guard, you did well, to rest up. He turns around and walks back to the rest of you as you're kind of standing there. I recommend you rest up. If you need to go and speak to Maverick, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, you're welcome to stay down here. We won't celebrate, it's inappropriate with the companions that both us and you have lost. but we'll be heading down tomorrow. We're going to clean that place out. Build our home again.
Alright then.
As this is all taking place, Elsyan kind of turns for a moment, his head kind of spinning to one side. I think the cages have fallen off the ceiling.
Is that good? Is that bad?
I don't know, but I heard it.
Hopefully, it means that those souls that we're tracking there are free now. Well,
I'm assuming. Sorry, no, after you.
there'll be time enough later to investigate.
Captain turns back and goes, "Well, if it's only a few shadows, we can take care of that. The problem was what was causing it."
That thing's dead.
Good.
And if it isn't, it should be. But if it isn't, I'm going to burn it into ash on the floor. Just imagine Sasha is like coldly furious still.
He.
At least I still have the eye.
That's true. You have it wrapped up in cloth at the moment. As he stands there, he looks at you. He almost perfectly understands, and in almost a sense of irony, you two have swapped places. Kind of looks at you, looks at the rest of the party. Alright, I'll leave you to your morning.
Thank you.
If you wish to speak to us tomorrow, we'll be here. Otherwise, you're free to go. He turns and heads back to the rest of the dwarves that are there. He speaks to them, they go back to their place, and you see a few of them beginning to grab what remains of some basic firewood. And they set up a fire in the center of town, and they begin to just sit round and slowly hum old dwarven songs to one another. What do the rest of you want to do?
No idea.
Sasha, having done their duty, is just going to go over to the elevator to Maverick, and he's just gonna sit down, just like sit down there and wait.
Yeah, I suppose I will.
Okay.
I'll join you.
You all sit down and wait.
Just for if everyone else has other stuff to do like this.
I think Ghaakt will just solemnly pluck away.
Roll me a performance check.
Can I do the same? My flute.
Yeah, go ahead, give me a performance check.
Is there a modifier for that?
Yeah, it'll be your performance.
Whoop. Let's bring out the dang list again.
I believe you have expertise in it, so it's probably 22.
My. Yeah, I think it's a 7.
7, in which case that'll be 19, which is still pretty good.
Let me check. It's on charisma, right?
It'll be performance. It's on one of your skills.
Performance.
Relatively near the bottom.
10.
10, yeah. So
Yep,
22. You begin to pluck away. The rest of you kind of feel almost the emotions you don't want to feel drained away, whatever those may be. Excess rage is tempered. Excess sorrow is quelled. But any feeling of happiness drains with it. You feel a focus on a single emotion. Not too much to break you, but not too much to make you forget it. The memories from both Malcom playing and from Ghaakt playing burns into your mind. This moment will never be forgotten. Elsyan walks over with everybody now on the elevator, pulls the elevator lever. The elevator slowly ascends as the music carries on, the grinding of it against the wall as it travels upwards. Eventually you hear the rushing wind of the area above. As you reach the top, you can see goblins standing around doing various things. A few of them seemingly carrying bits and pieces, others just rolling around, doing what they do best. And you see over near the entrance of the cave, you see Maverick, the work of the hammer on the anvil as he continues to forge whatever he's forging in his current position. He wants to approach.
I think Sasha hearing the hammer is just gonna sort of like wander over, not exactly like in a trance, but just sort of like this is something Sasha recognizes and takes comfort in. So Sasha's just gonna sort of just slowly walk over, very slowly.
As you head over, some of the goblins kind of react. A few of them immediately, as they see you, where previously they were almost happy that you've returned, like, oh, people we know, they get the sense, and from the tension, a lot of them clear out of the way. None of them want to play or do anything. As you approach the anvil, Maverick stops, puts down the hammer. You watch as he, with all four of his arms, he doesn't turn, he doesn't stand up, but he puts them on both of his knees, where he sat down. So one of you died.
Yep.
That's a shame.
Well, that's well, we killed it. That's done at least.
It is good that it is done. You've lost a friend. You're almost becoming like the original Don Marshals.
Oh.
They lost their own in a similar trial. Not the same, but similar.
Maverick, how old are you?
Thousands of years.
In that time, you've lost people, haven't you? I can only imagine.
Plenty. Back when I was young, our family was hunted. We Ambera were hated for who we are. Resurrected demons. We were purified, brought back from the brinks of hell and given a body and host to work with. Not all immortal races saw us that way. About 98% of our populace was murdered in the matter of 10 years. I am one of several hundred who currently roam this material plane. Yes.
Does it ever get easier?
No, never. But what it does do is it tempers your history. Remember, heroes are not made overnight. Their memories and their burdens are not carried on their shoulders. It's in their heart that they exist. We exist for a reason. It is why we are here. You will feel pain. You will take that burden with you. You will feel like there's nothing more to give. But once you pull through it, there is no stronger steel nor metal on this world that can temper you. No fire that will break you. And remember that, because your friend will have wanted you. As Queglod collapses on the floor.
No, that didn't happen. So,
Malcom, you want to come? Might want to come see the spider. It looks ill.
Right.
Wait it out. But remember, the best way to recover from something like this, you feel anger, you will eventually feel sorrow. Do not bottle it up. Emotions can kill you. And I'm sure your friend, in any given situation, if he were standing here, he would tell you not to die. He doesn't want that to happen to you. And for that reason, I will not permit it for any of you to take your life on this mountain because you lost a friend.
Don't worry. Those ones. I surely hope none of us would do that. This is
no.
the dark time.
I had to say the same thing to the first Dawn Marshals. Randy and Halka. Twin Azamars, half-fallen. Each of them possessing one single wing each. Eventually 3 on each side, but still one wing. One was a cursed one. One was a protector. One of light, one of shadow. Once the one of light died, one of shadow... well, let's say he tried to murder the rest of the Dawn Marshals. He went rogue. I had to leave this place hundreds of years ago and hunt him down. I met with him and said the same thing to you. Your hearts are where they are at. And I made him his weapon. I made him, dusk and dawn, weapons to the end that he would be able to use to remember his brother by. The rings, the solar crests. I remember that day I saw his brother again. Randy lived. I don't know how. I don't know through what means the solar crests existed, but his brother came back. There are ways your friend can live on through his legacy. Fill the dreams he wanted to fulfill. He is a Goliath, he wants trophies. He wants to win the battles that no one else could win. You may not have known his family. I can sense that. None of you knew his past, he never shared it. That may be what drove him to his end. Maybe now's that time that you start to realize that there's more that you need to say to one another. Share your burdens. It's easy to help carry somebody else's burden than just your own. I'll leave you to what you need to do. Get your rest. Get your sleep. You've had a troubled time. I know it's only midday, but rest what you can. Let out your emotions. You need to do that. After that, I'll send you home. You need some time to rest. With winter fast approaching, I can't have you stuck up here. The goblins, they'll live. They just freeze over the winter. Me, I don't feel cold. Not anymore.
Okay, just brief side. That was Widowmaker, right?
That wasn't a reference. I mean, I guess it is now, but it wasn't.
Okay, I was very confused for a second where I knew that from, and I was like, wait, what? Okay. Right. Ghaakt, can you set up your your sphere, the hut?
Yeah.
I think we'd all like to be out of this
Yeah,
This
I'll
is
I'll
cold.
get on it.
Yeah, Mavericks around, so we need to rest at this
Um,
point.
Give me a minute.
I mean, I think we'll wait until like. Should we wait until like the end of the day to rest, or like
I'll
how are we?
say, for all intents and purposes, you guys go about your business. You either try to relax as best you can, you try to understand your feelings, trying to control them, to temper them. Some of you sit there wondering what you should do. Elsyan doesn't know how to feel. He goes off on his own, watching out into the distance. Malcom, you watch the clouds. It's relaxing seeing nature from above. The storm raging below, but you can see it's calm above. It teaches you various things. You stand there and you watch. Arachne feels cold, but she shelters herself. Aurum stands by your side, vigilant, resisting the cold as best she can, even though it should otherwise hurt her.
That was why I was thinking we should get the sphere up,
Yeah.
because that way we have a place to be.
Arachne will hide near the forge because she's not so good with the cold.
Okay.
Aurum is going to forcefully resist it. As this happens, Featherwing flies over to you. He just sits on your shoulder, nuzzles up against you, and you remember that you have a bigger duty to attend to. There are people relying on you. You eventually grab your rest, and you head back. As this happens, Ghaakt, you play to yourself. You take your viol. You begin to play the deep notes. While that all happens, you begin reciting the sound of what was told to you to be one of the cursed hymns. You hear it over in your mind. It pierces and twangs at the inside of your mind. Every portion of you screeches, not necessarily in pain, but with a feeling you're unfamiliar with. And as you listen to it, you begin to understand that the power is not in the song itself. There's the way it's used. You begin to listen out, and despite the wind blowing against you, you think about what you need to do, play your last tune, and set up the bubble in preparation for the night. Sasha, as you're suffering through this, you watch at the forge. Maverick leaves the hammer there. He turns to you and in one last message says, "Forge. Forge away that anger. Put it in a blade. Give him his memory back." And he heads back inside. Over the course of the next few hours, taking what simple metals you can, using your artisan's blessing and tempering your anger into something, you create a great sword, a mimicry of Chillsbane, one that you can use. And in that same memory, as you begin to forge, you find yourself forging something a second thing. You don't know what it is, but the metal calls to you, your anger burning into it. And as you forge it, you forge a Shalya. You look at the two. You hear the sizzle as your tears hit the hot iron below. You wipe away those tears. You place the two of them in your backpack. Simple, made of iron, not worth much, but they have memory in them. You go back. You lay down to rest.
If it's all right, I would have liked to have just engraved into them like the names of the people they represent.
That's fine. The one probably suffering most from it all, Queglod. She stands off on her own, frosted hold on her, clung to her body, keeping her safe from this cold temperature. But she stands there alone, the blustering of the dark purple feathers around her cloak, her hood blowing in the wind as she pulls it up to hide her face from the rest of the party. Felipe hides inside, waiting and watching. You feel the weight of the lantern at your side as you hold your staff with both hands, the cold iron almost causing frostbite as your hands are unable to unclench from the dark steel of the staff itself, the single amethyst atop it. You look out, standing at the edge of the mountainside. The distance and the horizon, the wind threatening to carry you off at any given moment, but you standing firm. You look out and you feel something. It's sadness and loneliness. But as you feel those emotions, Felipe nuzzles up to you. A comfort. And as you turn back to look, you can see the rest of your companions similarly suffering. Sasha forging, Ghaakt playing his music. Malcom watching the storms, thinking about the anger that others feel. Elsyan contemplating the empathy he should feel. The absence of Bhold. And as you stand there thinking about this, looking on and feeling all of these warped emotions, you feel a comfort in the fact that you have more friends. There are more out there that you can trust. And as this thought hits your mind, you relax a little bit more. But not enough. With the whispers and the same images going over in your mind, you too eventually succumb to rest. As the night goes through, none of you take watch, exhausted, trusting in Maverick and his goblins. You all rest. Elsyan, the last one to arrive, he takes the first 4 hours, not necessarily to watch, but to stay to himself. After that time, he heads back in, joining the rest of you. During this time, Queglod, your event transpires. The rest of you, as you awake in the morning, wrought with aches and pains, the feeling of just general achiness, the unwillingness to move and to go about your day. I'd like you all to roll initiative. This is to see who wakes up first. I'm going to say with Queglod, you obviously have your... You don't necessarily need to, because you know about this already.
Oh, do we, yeah, I should probably fix all my stuff, like my health pool.
Why are you rolling with both? It's initiative, left one.
Oh, right, then that one.
one.
Sorry, my brain.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I guess my strength would go back to normal now too.
Yeah, your strengths return to normal if you had anything missing, your hit points go back to normal, change your spells if you wish to, spell slots are restored, everything, long rest. Malcom. Being the first one to wake, Queglod being aware of this, she is also already awake. As you wake, you look over and you see a ghostly form. As you see a transparent, dark blue Goliath with a large battle axe. Legs crossed, battle axe to one side, eyes closed, currently listening. As you see Bhold. The moment that happens, you feel almost a thrill, a joy. But then you see what looks to be a dark tether attached to it. You see the tether attached to Queglod's lantern. You suddenly understand that this spirit was Bhold. And as he sits there vigilant, as you wake, you look over the gasp, sudden intake of breath, seeing this. You see he notices as he looks over. His eyes open. Doesn't do anything else. He notices your presence, doesn't communicate, doesn't say anything, doesn't nod. He sits there. As you look over at Queglod, you can see she's sat there, knees brought to her chest. Currently looking down, her eyes are red. She's gotten her rest, but how much you're not sure. She sits there, you can see Bhold sat there, guarding her. as you sit there, looking out and understanding this, the next awake is Ghaakt, Elsyan also. Elsyan seems to not take notice, almost as if he's known this is something that could or would happen. He takes it in, gets up, takes some of his rations, eats them, and leaves the bubble. Standing outside in the cold, he again goes back to looking out across the horizon. You are now awake. Ghaakt, you do anything?
Well, I'm outside. I'll also have my morning rations, and I suppose I'll leave the bubble to wonder what that's what that's doing there. Well, doing?
Well, he's inside the bubble.
Okay, so I will not leave the bubble. I'm in the bubble, seeing this ghost of the man I just saw die hours before. I'm assuming.
Yes.
What did you do? Queglod?
Over the night, I communed with the Raven Queen. Although Bhold may have been slain, his spirit is still willing to fight alongside us. He has passed the point where he could fully return to the mortal plane, but even so, his legacy will live on.
Well, I can understand that, but also he's sitting right there. I can't help but feel that you might have had something to do with that.
Yes, this is a wraith created by the remnant of his spirit, using a spell that the Raven Queen has granted to me. This will allow him to continue to fight at our side and to achieve the glory that he always sought for, even as his true form fights on in the world beyond this life.
Wait, just so I remember, the wraith, the necromancers were Quedlock's parents, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I guess those really were your parents, if you know how to do this.
My
Actually, the
parents, yes, my parents were necromancers. This is slightly different. Behold's soul is with the Raven Queen now, and as the guardian and arbiter of all mortal souls, she has decided to entrust it to me. That's what's happened here.
I mean, as long as all parties involved are consenting, I understand, but...
Quite.
As you're having this conversation, Sasha, you wake from your slumber. Usually not woken by these kinds of conversations had early in the morning, but this time you feel it. As the bubble breaks from just naturally dissipating after 8 hours, the cold wind catches you off guard, you curl up, you wake up, you're bleary-eyed, but you see Bhold in a spectral form.
I think the reaction is like, initially they're sort of like, oh, it's Bhold. Then it's like, it's Bhold! And then it's like, oh, right. And then just sort of like, going from that's normal to, wait, that's good, to, oh, it's not really. It's not. like I think it's fairly obvious that this is not like an actual
Yeah.
Behold. This is just
Mm.
some sort of remnant.
Yeah.
And I think Sasha is just going to be like not necessarily more despondent than previously, but just sort of like gonna quietly go about their day and just like just getting ready and just like, so what's going on here then?
Can you speak?
In all truth, I am not certain. Okay, I'm going to attempt to command the wraith to say hello.
The Wraith cannot complete that command.
Okay.
And as Behold sits there, his head turns to you, but is incapable of conveying a command. As Elsyan attempts to telepathically communicate with Behold, nothing occurs. There's nothing to connect to.
Yes. I want there to be no misunderstanding. Behold is very much still dead. This is a somewhat incorporeal form, given substance by the remnant of his spirit. Will allow him to fight on, to continue to achieve his goals, even though he is past the point of no return.
As you sit there, very well aware of what's going on, you gather up your things. Who's taking Behold's stuff?
I'll carry it. I'm second. I'm the second biggest and probably the second most qualified to carry his large things.
I think like there are some things I'd like to specifically grab. I think I think Sasha's going to grab Chill's Bane and just sort of like look at it for a while and then put it in the pack. And anything else if that needs carrying that might not necessarily be that if anything's like too heavy for you, Ghaakt, Sasha will take it. Small thing though, Sasha very like specifically hands over the drums to Behold's drums over to Ghaakt.
Ghaakt, you now have a pair of war drums in your inventory.
Thanks.
Infernal can tell you how much they weigh, but they are very well-made war drums. And they generally have more of a tribal-esque theme to the exterior of them. As you're going through the rest of this, Ghaakt, I would like you to roll me an intelligence check with advantage.
A moment.
DC for this is not high.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you go through his belongings, you find a piece of paper. And on it, as you kind of unfold it and you look at it, you can see several scribblings out of various things. You see a stick figure drawn of Bhold holding his axe. You've never seen anything like this before, and below that you see in very crude handwriting, as Queglod, you've been teaching him this, he has written his name, Bhold. And underneath it is the surname none of you ever knew of. Golkarleth. Or Golkarthi, sorry. Spelt Golkhallathi. And as you see this, you're almost caught off guard by it. You didn't know this was his surname. And you kind of hold the piece of paper there, the wind bustling against it. You fold it up and you put it in the rest of the pack, unless you wish to show it to the party. Malcom goes off, tends to his companions, prepares them for the journey. And while this is going on, Elsyan goes over and speaks to Maverick. They have a short conversation, and Maverick then comes out, and you watch as he takes the hammer and he slams it on the edge of the forge. As he does so, he recites some words. Do any of you speak deep speech, other than Elsyan?
Nope.
I'll take that as
I do
no
not
from...
think so.
No.
Okay. As he says these words, Elsyan, recognizing what was said in the language, you see what looks to be these varied coloured serpents with large bird-like wings leave the forge. You see that there is a total of 10 of them in all. As they sit there, you see Maverick turns to the rest of you. This will get you back home. I'll get you there in 5 days. You'll be safe. You can rest on the way, you can talk, you can do what you wish. I'll get you home in 5 days.
I think we'd all appreciate heading back home quickly.
I
Understand?
think that would be best. Yeah.
Do you mind if we go down and give our goodbyes to the dwarves?
By all means.
Or then right. It's been a pleasure getting to meet you, Maverick.
It's a shame it couldn't have
Sorry.
been on better terms.
Yes.
It's a good start, but the end is difficult.
I wanted to ask, this armor is just the start of my forging hopes, as it were. Until I find a Turan's forge, would you mind if should it ever be an emergency, if I came back to do some work with you?
You're welcome to use the forge. Getting back here is not easy. There's no sigil you can take to get here. Traveling by land is difficult. Traveling by air is even more so. It's going to be difficult with the guardians of the forest below. Going underground is your best bet, but those passages have long been abandoned.
Well, still, a dwarf finds a way.
Indeed they do. Give the people my thanks, and I will continue to send support to them down below. All they need to do now is get themselves back on their feet.
Right. I will do, and I thank you again for all you've helped us with.
He nods, goes back to the forge. The Caltals wait, or the Quaitals wait around. They wait for your arrival. One of them kind of goes over, realizing he's going to be carrying Behold's body in it, waits there. The others get in position to carry their individuals as Sasha, you head down to speak with the dwarves. Does anybody else wish to go with? Nope.
I'll go.
I will as well.
Okay.
I'll go.
Alright, so everyone's going except for Elsyan. Elsyan will stay up here. Companions will also stay up here with the exception of Featherwing, who will go with... with the exception of Aurum, who will go with you.
Yeah.
Aurum will never leave your side. As you descend in the elevator relatively fast, you get to the bottom. Some of the dwarves immediately turn to you and they look over. You can see what looks to be some people crowding around a house on the other side. You recognize this as the house where the individual was imprisoned. You also see the captain of the guard as he leaves from the center of town, heading towards your current position. You've come back. It's good to see you again. Hopefully in better spirits.
We're I'm afraid it's not. It's only going to be a little better. It's going to be a short visit. We're about to. We've located means to get ourselves back where we're from, so we're going to be heading off fairly quickly. But wanted to check in with you make sure everything was all right.
Yes, we're fine. The individual has woken up, and our doctors are currently inspecting. The people are currently watching, and some of them are trying to help where they can, being given instructions, that kind of thing. Other than that, we've sent a small squadron of guards down already. One of them's already returned, saying that the place is cleared out. They're just going to deal with the bodies. They're going to burn them.
Yes.
Then all we've got to do is strip away the metal and, well, hopefully we can build up the city again. It'll take some time, generation to generation, but we'll manage.
You could maybe petition the dwarven cities for aid.
They don't know we exist. It's better staying that way.
Oh, I mean, I knew I didn't know you existed, but I thought I was just,
I guess you never saw the mines then.
afraid not.
That'll be
Should
why.
we have?
It's best you didn't. I fear as another dwarf you may have been overcome by it.
Unless you've got about 50,000 pounds of platinum just lying there for the taking, I don't really think I'd be that swayed.
You watch as his eyes kind of slowly glance off.
Oh, come on. That was a joke. Okay, no, really? Ugh.
Not platinum.
Oh, I'll take a wild guess given the name and say, gold?
It wasn't just gold we kept in the gilded halls.
Other metals of great import, I assume.
Indeed.
Um,
We used to. Whether there'll still be any left after the attack, I don't know, but adamantine. That's why it's so valuable and why we can't let the other dwarven cities know we exist. If they get their hands on this adamantine resource, they'll go mad with power. It happened last time.
That's fair enough.
We thank you for your help. We wish we could do more. Next time you return, hopefully it'll be with greater greetings. And hopefully our people will be stronger then.
Hopefully.
I hate to talk about this at such a dark time, but I'm assuming with this adamantine being a big resource for you, you're a mining city, or were.
We were. It went to Maverick, and Maverick used to send the various resources to his various agents, and received a large portion of pay which was used to fund us, along with other resources such as food and water where we needed it.
Remind me, Mysterial is of no use to most people, is.
Of course, Mysterial can't be used for anything.
That's not strictly true. If you have any that's just going to waste, if you can find a way to send it to Adamanthia, I wouldn't be opposed.
The mines won't
Just
be up
letting
and
you
running
know.
anytime soon, but if we manage to get that up, we can ship some off.
Didn't expect so. Just something to keep in mind for some point. I'll be in contact. I can
If we're lucky,
can
from what
use magic.
From what the scout said when he came back, the other chambers to the housing areas were locked off. If we're lucky, there may still be people alive in there.
Hopefully, hopefully that's
That would be
all I can really say
ideal.
there.
Anyway,
All right.
we thank you for your help. Again, you've done so much for us. Best of luck in the future.
All right, and best of luck to you. Look after your people.
I will. He turns and walks back to the rest of them. You say your goodbyes, you prepare yourselves. You head back up.
A brief thing. Do we see the small child anywhere?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
Yeah.
He's not about at the moment. He is currently being stopped from being allowed out while the
Cleanup is. Yeah.
while the cleanup is in order, and also
Mm.
while they're dealing with the clinically
Mad one.
insane individual. Yeah, they want to make sure that he doesn't get involved in it at all. So they're keeping him out of it. As you prepare yourselves, you head back upstairs. You go gather up your things, and you set about traveling back to Adamanthia. Over the course of the next 5 days, you fly through the sky. Breakneck speeds, you travel over the top of the storm, completely bypassing it in a matter of days. You continue traveling as you make your way out over the mountains. You see over the top of the over the top of the Skycalm Keep. And as you head over the various stone ridges, mountains passing by in seemingly seconds. Days and weeks worth of travel disappearing in a matter of hours. As you head over the top of the mountains over the next 5 days, you find yourself able to be calm. Given a lot of time to contemplate, a lot of your emotions are released. The creatures around you of a relatively high celestial importance in terms of good. A lot of the negative emotions you lot feel over a long-standing time are sapped. You will remember, and you will still feel pain for it, but while you're in their presence, you feel calmed.
Well, whilst we're flying, are we able to talk to each other like
Yes.
with Elsyan's telepathy, or?
Yes, that's with Elsyan's telepathy you can talk, and Elsyan has open channels provided to all of you while this is going on.
I was wondering if over this time we could, like, whether there was a chance for a bit of a group conversation, as it were.
Yeah, sure.
Mm.
As you're flying over on the 4th day, seeing what looks to be the edge of the mountains in the horizon, the storm now subsiding in your general area, you can see you're getting relatively closer to Adamanthia. You can see the horizon is speckled with green and blue, sights you haven't seen for a while, probably forests or oceans, you're not sure.
So, Maverick told us to talk to each other and, well, be more open with each other, so that we're never left not knowing what could have gone wrong.
That'd be wise, I think. Do you have anything you wanted to say, Sasha?
I'm an open book for the most part. You all know my story. My family, my home, my family business, everything we'd worked for was destroyed by dragons, and I was angry and grief-stricken for a while, and I found a Turan, I found a teacher, and I found forging, and, well, now I'm just doing what I can. I'm working to make the world better, and I'm working to get some sort of closure on all of it. I'm currently working on 2 divine quests, one from a Turan, one from Alarandra. I've told you about the one from Alarandra. That's the riddles and the sword and lore. I've told you all that. But the Lady Turan has tasked me with finding her forge and forging a divine shield. It's not really a secret. I didn't really feel like it was something you guys would be interested in knowing about, but
Perhaps we can help you.
Yes.
Do you have anywhere to start on searching for the forge?
I have some heading. For finding the forge of a Turan, I've been given another riddle. Can I just recite the riddle and put it into the
If you want to. Yeah, that's fine.
into the thing? Yes. I'm not gonna actually recite it because fuck that. I'm going to just type in the thing. Chris, if you'd like to read out for stream,
Yeah.
I think you would have a better inflection for
Are
it.
you posting it in Dawnseekers?
Yes.
Cool. Right.
That was the one to guide me to
Yes.
a Turan, to the Forge of a Turan.
In a riddle in an attempt to guide Sasha to the Forge of a Turan, one of her divine missions, she was given this riddle. Give your heart, give your fire. Return to the moor that which was made and lost. Its greed runs true in many but you. Your soul and mind should seek not one, but two.
As you can tell, it's not the most. Yeah. Good word for it, Simon. The items I have to. The items that are required for me making this are a scale of a Turan, which I already have, as may have been mentioned previously. I need to find the forge and get it up and running. But the two other ingredients, shall we say, are the heart of an elemental overlord and the dust of was it a solar storm, or was that
Hold on. I have your ingredients here.
That was a while back, and it's in my thing somewhere, but I just need to.
Let me get it up.
Out.
Sasha.
The dust of a solar star.
Dust of a solar star and the heart of an elemental.
Yes. There are a few things these could both refer to, but the heart of an elemental most likely refers to either the heart of an elemental overlord, or the elemental core of an elemental overlord. I think is that how you would refer to it,
yeah.
or the heart of something like such as a phoenix or other powerful elemental. Although I'd assume fire elemental would be like the best one to go for, just for my specific circumstance. The dust of a solar star probably refers to what was it called in the astral sea, like astral stars or something.
You've got the astral nodes.
Astral nodes in the astral sea, which sometimes fall as meteorites, also potentially known as cosmic ore.
Yes. I would say Queglod and Ghaakt, you two would probably get I'm gonna say either an Arcana or a History check on this. If you're proficient, I believe you're the only two who might be able to understand this.
Okay.
Are you proficient in Arcana or History?
Should be proficient in Arcana.
No, I've only got a 1 in History, and Arcana is also 1.
Okay, in which case then never mind your roll, Ghaakt. So Queglod, do you have proficiency?
All about the performance, baby.
I have Arcana proficiency.
Okay. What's the total?
15.
16?
15.
15. Astral nodes, from what you know, from what this is being said, are one of, if not the most valuable things within the astral sea. The problem is, they are either traditionally guarded by titans, or they usually have a pirate haven built around them. Which means you're dealing with thousands upon thousands of space pirates.
Yep. Yeah.
The further out,
not an easy.
The further out you go into the astral sea, the less and less these threats exist around the astral nodes, because the astral nodes are further apart. However, the further and further you go, the more likely you are to be sucked into the plane they are associated with, such as the 7 planes of hell.
Or, the plane of fluff and pillows. So,
Look, that one's a far, far out realm. You got to go a long way to get there.
Doesn't seem like
It's actually the seventh plane of fire. It tempts people to go there, and then they just get eaten.
Yeah. But it is very comfortable whilst you're being eaten. So
And the fluff is actually just the residue from your dissolved bloodstream.
Yeah.
Or your bodily fluids. It just kind of foams up.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But
It's
yeah,
actually broth.
so
That's what they don't tell you.
an astral node is probably one of the hardest things to probably one of the harder things to acquire off of that list. Granted, both of them are near impossible tasks. But hey, one day.
Hey, I mean, heart of an elemental is like some of the options aren't impossible. They're just very difficult.
Well, it'll take time to make some progress on this riddle anyway, so...
And if you do believe it to be if you do believe it to be the astral nodes, and therefore meteorites where they could land, just as a side note, if you ended up building the observatory in your building, you would be able to understand. You'd basically be able to get a forecast as to if there are any dangerous weathers up ahead within certain regions, which includes meteorites.
Yeah. Very, very low spawn rate, but if you ever get one, it's big money. So
Yeah, the chance of one spawning is super low. The chance of one spawning where you are is that by 100. So it makes it a lot harder to.
So it's definitely going to happen because we have awful luck.
Yeah, but
anyway. No, yeah, we get it.
So yeah, as you continue traveling back, you continue having this conversation. Does anybody else wish to explain anything else about themselves?
There is one thing I wish to speak to you all about.
Okay, I'll follow you up. I'll go after, and then...
Can I just say, Queglod, in the most polite possible way, could I take a wild guess and say this may be in relation to your family situation?
No, actually.
Oh, well, that's actually surprising.
I've received new information from End. Somewhere south of here, south of the mountains, there is a city of Shadakai. As you may know, the servants of the Raven Queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid I don't know its exact location, but we need to seek it out and attempt to visit it at some point.
Time to head to Howling Corgi Island.
Not that far south.
No.
No, that's stupid far south. If you look on the map on the left that's on the board, it's circled.
Here.
Yeah, if you look at the map on the board, it's circled here.
Yeah.
You guys are currently here, by the way, so... Yeah, it's there-ish. Somewhere in the mountains, not sure where.
With winter brewing, it's going to be difficult to reach it before the weather turns again, but even so, it's a place we're going to need to visit.
I'd honestly say we should wait out this winter in Adamantia. We barely made it through the storm. I think we should just take the winter to prepare ourselves.
Got enough winter traveling.
Yeah,
for one
effectively
quest.
everything north of that once it hits frigid frigid breach, is going to be frost stricken.
Quick thing I would have assumed we would have done, but like I'm assuming Malcom would have gone and like sent the lizards off.
Yeah. He did that on the
I
first
took
day.
care of that a
Waiting
long
outside the
time
door.
ago.
Yeah. No, yeah. They've just been waiting at the door. No, they were sent away. They were sent back through the forest. They're gonna make it back before
Cool.
winter truly.
And we
ends.
took the heat globe back. 'Cause
Yes.
they're assholes.
They'll manage.
Right.
They're used to the cold. Don't question me on cold-blooded species.
That's fine.
Hopefully they don't have to do with that.
Magic.
Hopefully they don't have to do with that monstrosity. You know the one. They mentioned it. What was it? The Forest Guardian? And am I reason to presume that that was that big fucking wolf
Doom
thing with the
Doggo.
The Omni Doggo, yes.
Yes.
He who
That's-
barks in the night.
The Skull Shedder.
Right. Well, Queglod, I'm
bad
obviously I'm happy to go with you to help that. I think we're all stuck with each other. Ghaakt, honestly, I'd like to get to know you better, but before with that, Queglod, what? I know you're a private person. I know. I get that. Like, I've been. There are things even I'm not necessarily comfortable talking about, but like, what is going on, or went on with your parents? What happened there? What is the story there? Because, damn it, I do not want to be. We were not expecting this. We were not prepared for this, and I know it probably wouldn't have helped. I know nothing probably would have changed, but I am just tired and scared.
That's understandable. In truth, I can't claim to have the whole story myself, but I'll let you know what I can. In all honesty, until Chronicle died and unlocked my memories, I was not aware that they were still alive.
You said they were dead previously, and clearly they flout the laws of death by bringing back the soul of your brother, or whatever that was.
I'm not certain. His true soul is still with the Raven Queen, I'm certain of that, but whatever that was, it was not just some trick. If it was an illusion, it was far more authentic, far deeper than any illusion has any right to be.
Perhaps some recreation or, well, either way, no matter what, it's dark. It's
Perhaps.
dark and unholy magic.
They created him to begin with, so I suppose it's possible.
And you, Queglod, what exactly? You say he was created. What were you? Do you know?
To be clear here, when I say created, I mean
Birthed.
Okay.
I'm making signs with my hands, but you can't see them. So
Across the way, you just see Queglod with one finger in a loop.
Oh, okay, right.
Just-
'Cause when you say
when a
see,
mummy
I'm-
necromancer and a daddy necromancer love each other very much.
Follow
Okay,
my
look,
sacrifice a virgin
cursor.
and
I'll
raise a
help.
bunch.
Look, every parent creates their kid, but you don't say they created their kid. Oh, yes, we're creating a baby together. No,
Exactly
you say we're
that.
we give birth to a baby. Like, it sounds like you meant like they built him up from like fucking
In a
do it
test
your
tube,
DIY
I mean,
flat
they
pack.
did build him up from fucking, but you know,
they build them up. They just mold them out of clay,
Here, have a
and then
flat
just put
pack
her on the
child
stone.
halfling.
All right.
I can't read these elfish instructions.
Is this Dinkley Doodle meant to go in the Fang Twongler or
See, I would have
whatever?
said dwarven, but they are dwarven, so that joke wouldn't make any sense.
I'd be able to be dwarven easy, and they were
The
halfling.
Swedish or whatever fantasy race I need them to be for the joke to work.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right. So. Right.
You have more questions.
I have questions.
Honestly, there's a
I'll
lot
try to
I
answer
think we
what I
could go
can.
into, but Ghaakt, you first.
That song that your... It was his dad, right?
Yes.
no.
It's been like two...
His
Okay, it was...
mother was the one who
his
played
mum
it on
was-
violin.
Mm.
Okay, I was referring to the one that we were talking with, but
The
I
one,
guess she
yeah,
was there too.
yeah, she was the one who played what you note. No pun intended, but he was the one you spoke to. Yeah.
That song being played on that instrument is very, very dangerous. And the fact that they know it leads me to believe that they have the things I'm looking for.
Hmm. And what is it that you're looking for, Jack?
About 2 years ago, before I came on over here while I was still in the university, I had a friend. This friend decided to go about looking for forbidden music. They don't have points for that, but this was more of a case of some personal interests. So one day he comes to me after going off on an exhibition for extra credit, and he shows me this little piece of this sheet music, and he tells me it's cursed. Of course, I tell him he's full of shit. That doesn't make any sense. Then there was a bit of an argument. He started playing it in front of me. I freaked out a bit and left because I didn't believe in it, but I wasn't about to deal with that.
Sensible.
Then the very next day after that fight, they find his body. What's left of it. Rotten up like an old apple core, sitting in a chair. The music was gone, you understand, also.
Mm.
I checked everyone on the campus, but no one around had it. No one around had been there that night, except for me, and I didn't have it, so I was cleared out. And the whole thing just kinda went away. Of course, they had to knock him out of the books for having, well, illegal contraband as much as cursed music can be. You can understand that's not supposed to be on campus, at least not on student especially. So here I am, in the Empire, looking for where that music may have gone, assuming someone sold it for profit. Makes sense. The first lead I've gotten here since I made it here was in that mine being played by your mom. So, since you seem to know them so well, what exact kind of music do they have at your parents' place? And where is that located?
Well, as to the music, I really can't tell you. My parents both play. They used to play music all the time. I've heard the song they were playing back there multiple times and never experienced anything like what you described.
Well,
So I
neither
really
did we,
don't
and they
know.
played it, and we're still fine.
Indeed.
I kind of assumed if I heard it, I would die, but we didn't. So
I'm afraid I can't answer as to why that happened. If I knew, I would tell you. As to where I'm from, I imagine that if my parents really are still about, they're probably operating out of Prill Manor again.
which is in
It's in the Highlands, just outside of the central mountain range.
Yeah. So you got
Just,
the Empire.
nicely.
You got the Empire on this side. Then you've got the Highlands over here.
Like
You've got
the
to go
other side
all
of
the way
this
around.
hemisphere.
Yeah,
Mhm.
effectively.
If we're to take like in relation to the Highlands like text, where would you say this thing would be placed? It's the only thing that's constant because when you like try and point at anything on here, it ends up getting all weird.
Yeah, I know. Seeing as okay, it roughly cuts off. I don't know whether you can see that very well. Can you? Dragging from that point.
Yeah, that means
oh.
nothing because it's like halfway.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to make a cut.
Okay.
So if you cut off down that, like if you go from the top, you hold tab, and then you draw it down all the way to the K in Kingdom for Elven. That's effectively what I'm cutting off. That is where this edge starts here, effectively.
Right.
In such a case, Queglod came from about where your tile is. So, a little bit inland near... you see where those 4 bodies of water on the south side?
Yeah.
And then there's that body of water on the north.
Yeah.
Go a little
Okay.
bit further north from that, where it kind of splits into that split there. That is where it is.
This one or that one?
So, going
This
from
one.
these 4 down here, you go up to this first area. Then from
Yeah.
there is a very small gap going into this second one. It is in the gap going to the left, going towards the Empire.
A very brief question. Does that
So it's
mean
near
that
the
these sort of 2 large bodies of waters that are interconnected are technically the world's mightiest lake in existence?
Technically no, because they then connect to this, and then this connects to this. So
Ah.
technically, this is the world's mightiest lake, unless you want to call it an ocean, because
It's more of a river.
A very big and very weird river, yes. But yeah, it's there because that's where there's a town nearby which thrives off of the fish and the local agriculture.
Right, and that's where Prill Manor is.
I thought it was closer to the mountain range. I'm sure that's what we discussed.
Well, remember, the globe that I have here is the crude version of the mountains. Because if you look at the detailed map over here, you can see that there are mountains which I haven't included in.
Yeah, that's true.
Included in the Empire. If I ended up drawing the Highlands, you'd see where all of the mountains actually are, because there's a bunch on the ridge running down the eastern side of those 2 lakes.
Okay.
So you're close to that one. Yeah, it just doesn't show up well on the map. And if I showed you on the big map, it would make more sense because it's not stretched. They're actually close.
Yeah, I know. I just thought we'd...
If only we could look up, we could get this done properly.
It is close to a mountain range, it's just not that mountain.
Yeah, because Bhold came from roughly where the H was in Highlands, and then he went north, met you at your place, and then you went westward, heading towards the Empire.
Right.
So the Highlands.
Yes. From the edge of the map here, you're probably talking at the very least overland, probably about 3 weeks journey. Maybe 4. From the edge of the map here. To already get there, if you were flying, about 3 months.
Christ, okay.
So yeah, not a fast trip.
Big year, like, if we were walking that might, like...
Yeah, that's one hell of a summer vacation.
Yeah.
It's not even a summer vacation. That's like a multi-year vacation.
However, there are ways around it, namely known as Druid. With
Yes, we all know magical druid teleportation.
can walk through plants.
Druid air.
No, not even air. He can
Or
walk. He can
druid
create,
ground.
he can create a
then.
doorway through a tree, and he can make it anywhere in the world as long as he's seen
Thank
a
you
tree
for
of equal
using
size.
Thank you for using druid transport.
Ugh.
Remember to take your luggage with you, and please do not fall out of the roots.
Look,
Goodbye.
if you didn't take your luggage with you, it would just shoot it out the other side and probably kill a civilian.
Oh god.
Murder civilians, yes, I enjoyed this idea.
The most deadly weapon assassination ever.
How long has
Tridor.
Sudz
Have you
been?
not seen Hitman when he throws the briefcase and it just flies through the air?
I've seen. Yes, I have. I've also seen the fact that everyone is just enticed by a single coin over and over again.
What I'm like seeing. How long has like Sudz been out of the game? Are you okay, buddy?
His computer crashed because it's been happening recently.
Oh.
It's something about overheating, so
And now
Oh.
I'm constantly getting disconnected from Discord for no reason.
that's not good.
Shit.
Problem.
Like,
Okay.
That's a Discord problem. It's been happening for a week.
Oh, okay. Well, as you're all traveling through the air, you continue your discussion. You now know roughly where Queglod's parents may be located. This has some intrigue to you with regards to the cursed hymns. Elsyan remains quiet. He is just allowing the telepathic communication to go ahead.
Okay. Hey, I'm just saying, elf bro. When we're down there, you're not gonna be holding this up in yourself forever. We'll get you. I'll zone of truth your ass. Probably won't work, but still.
You can certainly
Anywho.
try.
Yeah.
That's something he would
Anyway.
say.
That is true. I know you're just doing this for plot reasons, but like because like you're not Sam.
I'm not
but,
Sam.
like,
I can't tell you what he knows. 'Cause I can't remember half his stuff.
What he
but neither can he.
thinks, What he feels.
So
and he doesn't remember the other half, so it's fine.
exactly. So I can tell you what I know he knows, but he'll have to tell you what he knows he knows. Anyway, so you continue traveling through the air, talking to one another, discussing your various bits and pieces of your life. Yeah, if you guys finish up your conversation, if you have anything else you wish to ask, and then we'll take a break after that, I think.
Right. Ghaakt. I realize you've kind of just been thrust into a lot of this, frankly.
Mhm.
That sounds fair to say. I mean, you fought one battle, and then suddenly we were sharing a tavern ownership, and then we're traveling all across the land, and then one of our buddies dies, and then it turns out that one of the other. Basically, it's a very stressful time.
Yeah, you can thank Bhold for that.
Mm-hmm. I'd honestly like to get to know you better. Hi, I'm Sasha. I'm a dwarf, and I'm a blacksmith, and I'm a cleric.
I'm Ghaakt. I'm a Half-Orc. I'm a bard. And a bard.
Cool. We're the Dawn Marshals, as you've no doubt heard. You kind of didn't get to experience the whole acceptance of that, but I like to think that given the option that you have the option to stick with us and join us as such. I believe. Did we end up talking to Miadal or not? Like,
About
because I know we can't contact her now.
about what?
We haven't spoken
About-
to her in a while. have we?
About Ghaakt being a new Dawn Marshal.
Yes, I believe from what was just generally known that was a yeah, that was just generally something that was known.
Yeah, right.
And I believe
you
she
didn't
did end
exact-
up saying
you may not have gotten exactly the whole like Dawn Marshal experience, as it were, with the whole puzzle solving and seeing a floating angel lady. But you're
I saw
one
a
of the
floating angel pope.
Yeah, but he was mean, so you know, she's nice, so that's something at least. Yes, where was I? You're a Dawn Marshal, and that comes with a lot of responsibility and like almost zero perks. So that's
Sure, you guys just don't want like a chronicler or something? Someone to write down.
I mean,
Don't get forgotten.
I wouldn't be against it personally.
Might not be a
Do I get paid either way?
I mean, you're gonna be getting, as long as you help us not die, then sure.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll become a Dawn Marshal then.
In all honesty, our job would be a lot easier if better work had been done preserving the history of the previous Dawn Marshals. So.
Oh yeah, like chronicle all of this shit. I will pick up a quill if I have to. Anyone who knows Sasha will know that has never happened in 55, in like all of, I think it was 54 fucking years of existence. 56.
Sasha's 56.
Yeah.
Ah.
I am like
Sasha is tiny babby.
tiny babby dwarf. Yeah.
Dwarves are like 400, don't they?
Yeah, 300-400 is like max area, I think. So I'm super young. Like barely out of my majority. Hence why I took the whole, family dying with, really fucking poorly.
Yeah.
You've been traveling with a teenager this entire time.
Oh. You snuck that one by us, did you?
Yep. Right. Yeah, but it's a lot of responsibility, but I'd say we all want the continued existence of the, life to continue, so
yes, life existing is good.
Means you get more people in when you're at a gig, so, Are you okay with that? With like all this responsibility, with this like we sort of agreed to it. Like perhaps a tad quickly, if I'm entirely honest. In my defense, we were all suffering from amnesia, and we're also pinned for charges of arson. So
yeah, didn't you like kill someone?
Oh, many times. We killed lots of people. But if you mean the governor, then yes, we probably did. He agreed to it though, so
He requested it, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that makes it legal in the eyes of the Torah.
Well, I'm glad to see that the Empire is progressive enough to have legal suicide assistance.
That's definitely how that works, right?
Sure.
Sasha has no idea if this works and does not care even if it did or did not.
The full nature of events was never made known to the powers that be.
As long as it was humane.
It couldn't. The law never found out about it, so I guess it's not illegal.
Yeah.
But
right. Are you all right with this? Because I'll be honest, like, if you look at it objectively, we've been through some shit in a not very long period of time.
I never really thought about what I was gonna do after I find that music and burn it into the smallest pieces of ash. But if I can secure a name to make some good sellout shows after all this is over, then this seems like a good as way as any to do both.
That's fair enough, I guess.
Well, we'd certainly all be glad to have you with us. Just make sure you're comfortable with the danger that all of us will be facing.
Saying that in a somewhat joking way, of you understand, of course. I do care more about avenging my friend and destroying the dangerous music of you see.
Mm.
And also helping you with everything that you're gonna do, like depose a queen and maybe stop war. I don't know. We'll get around to that part eventually.
We've quite a lengthy to do this.
I'll be honest. I'm more planning on finishing a war.
Kill
Yeah,
Elsyan's mom.
badass.
Well, there's going to be a lot of mom and aunt killing. I've gathered that much at least. No, we just need to find some bad uncles and dads, maybe a shitty sibling. And
Oh, Elsyan killed his sibling. So
oh well, that's already covered then. Good to know.
yeah, we got that covered. Isn't that right, Elsyan? Elsyan.
Hold on. Fuck you. There's just a very faint whisper on the wind as he says it out loud rather than telepathically.
Fuck you. Yeah, that's.
Can't
that
hear
sounds
you,
not
man.
right.
You're downwind.
That's not that bad, honestly. Sasha, let's one off royally just to fuck with it. No.
Well, be careful. I'm downwind of you. If we learn anything, in the last couple of hours, that friendly fire is not permissible.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's your conversation. Oh, go on. Sorry.
I have just one final thing that I would like to get done because I sense we're going to be coming to the end of our travels soon. Could I cast Identify on the Golden Mace?
Oh, it's about time.
Yeah, and anything else that anyone else wants me to.
Oh,
There's
now
a golden mace.
Now I've got to. Hold on. Let me bring up my
Yeah.
loot tab. I've completely forgot you had that.
Oh.
You're gonna hate.
I-
You're gonna hate me
Oh,
when
I
you
have.
see this.
Yes, I have a
I
magic
know.
ring as well that we picked up in the.
The ring.
Yeah, I'm basically just I'm gonna be.
Queglod, I'll send you your
Identify.
ring first, as it's first in my list.
Oh yeah, I pulled that thing out of that cupboard, floor in the cupboard, didn't I?
There you go,
Yeah.
Queglod. You've got a ring of warmth. It protects you from, gives you resistance to cold damage, and you can stand up to degrees of minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is cold.
We are taking a break.
Yes, we are taking a break
Mhm.
after this. Don't worry.
Alright, I'm gonna go take my break now.
Yeah, because you got smoke break. That's
Get me
fine.
a little-
And Sasha, there is your Mace of Disruption.
Yeah, this the.
Which, to those who know what a
Gonna
Mace
put
of Disruption does, it does 2d6 additional damage versus undead and fiends. If the target has 25 hit points or less, they must succeed a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or be destroyed. On successful save, the creature is frightened.
See, that would have came in very useful.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who what was it? We were told we wouldn't have time to attune to things, and
If you took a short rest,
Like
you would have. But again,
Yeah, I
know,
we're not
mean,
pointing
I'm
fingers,
well aware.
and we'll leave it at that. So,
I-
as that's all done, Elsyan's got his boots of striding and springing if he wants to use the mud boots. Potions wise, you already know what those do.
Question: Elsyan can't identify things, can he?
No, you can. So you technically know what they are, but
Oh, these are just some old boots. I think no, I'm not going to be that much of a dick,
yeah.
especially not while he's here. While he's not here, if he was here, it would be a different story. But you know.
Yeah.
Question: how much damage does a mace do normally?
1d6. So it will do a lot. It will do quite a bit less damage than your warhammer. But again, if you're tuned to it and you're fighting undead or fiends, kind of the gist of this campaign, then you'll do 2d6 additional radiant damage.
Yeah, I think I might like.
Hooray
attune
for
to-
random rolls that can completely derail a campaign. It's fine.
Yeah, this would have been very nice to have.
Yes. Anyway,
And
as you identify these, you secure the knowledge that you want for this, and as you proceed to go in through the night, night sky lights up as the rest of you are looking about. You breach over the top of the mountains, and that is where we're going to take our break. So, we'll be back in about 5-ish minutes. Hopefully less. We'll be back soon. Do not worry. We will return. And when we do, we will continue on as our players are back in Adamanthia. Just a note. What angle are you coming in from? Are you coming from the east side, the south side, or the north side?
I imagine at least southeast. We were like what over here?
Yeah, but you can over here. But you can swivel around what direction you want to come in from, because you can't land in the city because you know these creatures are kind of going to get shot down.
Yeah, what orientation is the street in? No.
I mean, honestly, there's a part of me that's tempted to stop off at like Oaksmith and see, and then go forward back from there. But that would take like a day.
That's
so,
a day's journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say we should probably drop off outside of the city and walk in then.
Yeah, but
I'd
which
say like
side
a good.
would you like to go in
I'd
from?
say like a good 200 feet away, because I do not want to get like.
That's fine.
Murdered.
They're not going to do anything major. These things are going to land you nearby to the city anyway, but they won't land you in it because they know better. It's just what angle do you want to come from? Because the main entrances are on the south, north, east, and west side.
I'd say from the south, I guess.
South. Okay.
I don't suppose it makes.
Your tavern's on the north
where-
side.
that's-
That's why I'm asking. Because if you come in from the north side, you can go straight to your tavern and then wherever you want to go. But it's up to you.
You know what? I think we should come from the north just because we left from the
Yeah,
south, so that's
alright
going to
then.
really confuse them.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. So you're going to come from the north. Got it. All right. When we come back
Yeah,
for our break in a couple of minutes, we will continue on with that. So don't go anywhere.
Mhm.
They're back and on time, apparently. This is unprecedented.
Well, of course it's unprecedented. We haven't had a democratic election.
Will and... Yes. Will and Simon, you are still here, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Yes, everybody is here. Well, obviously Sam's not here, so that's why we're all on time. Shots fired, but true.
If you think about it, he is just really, really late.
Yes,
in a way.
In a way. So, as you guys are traveling back to Adamanthia, you end up going over the top of the edge of the mountains. As you breach across the mountains, you can see in the distance what looks to be Adamanthia. Things have changed since you were last here. Very much so.
Oh no.
As the harsh wind blows by, you... I hope this is the right one. It is not the right one. Let's just go with Elven Flute. I know that one works. As you travel across the edge of the mountain, you get a better look at Adamanthia. Previously, which was a fairly bland city, grey stone walls, housings, a crooked tower off in the distance, the large library and academies off to the eastern side. In the northern side, you had the fort, and then somewhere in the centre, you had the centre of town. Things have changed. The outer walls are being reconstructed, rebuilt in their various ways from the previous damage they took. The city has been mostly rebuilt, with the exception of the centre, where now the buildings have been pushed back, and now with the finishing constructions of a large white spiralling spire in the centre of town with airship docks around the outside of it. You can see, as you're kind of travelling over, you can see small specks of what looks to be wyverns flying about, of their various wyvern riders. You can see the city is a lot not necessarily a lot different, but the spire in the middle is definitely the most obvious. The crooked tower off at the back in the northwestern quadrant has been removed. The fortress in the northern region has been left where it is, but the wall no longer connects to it, it goes round it, with what looks to be simple bridges on the outside, like a double layer of defences to the fortress itself. You can also see that the academy and the library are no longer two separate buildings. They've been merged into one large building that's relatively localized to more the center area. And the walls themselves, as they're being rebuilt, the main gateways into the city have been adjusted to accommodate for that. You can see the roads are being built up and made better. Stone roads are being put in rather than just the usual dirt roads. And as you continue flying around to the northern side of town, you can see the various areas. What was previously a mostly abandoned previous crafting and blacksmithing district is now a little bit more lively, as a few of the areas nearby to where your tavern is have been bought up and people are working there now. You land about a good 2-3 minute journey from the edge of the wall. You travel down south and you reach the edge of the gate, so you stow Bhold in your lantern. Currently you can only fit one in there, so do note that. As you travel closer to the city, a few individuals have noticed you. They did notice you fly in and land. However, immediately one of the guards notices who you are. They're the Dawn Marshals. And he stops one of his friends who's kind of going up almost in position to question you. And as he sees you, he goes, "Oh, the Dawn Marshals!" And he just waves at you. The other guard's like, "Wait, really?" Kind of turning and looking a bit more. You keep on heading down towards the gate?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
As you keep moving, the two guards they welcome you, they accept you back into the city, and they kind of allow you through the gates. There are a few travellers waiting to be let through into the city. You can see what looks to be a small group of adventurers and preparing to go through. And as you travel past, you can see a few of them. They aren't well equipped. They're equipped with the stuff you would have started with when you first begun your adventure. You remember talks are being said about the Adventuring Guild in town and how it's been built up. You didn't see the previous Adventurers Guild, the Shattered Sword, in the when you approached it. And as you head further into town, you can. Where are you heading first? Sorry, I should ask that.
I think first thing first is like contact Aleuir, Rohal, etc. Gree, Abod, and all that. Like I could have just been sending them to inform them.
Algeir's currently in the middle
here.
of a battlefield.
That's right. Hurricane and Rohal, I think, are the two big wigs.
Top priorities. Okay.
Top priorities. But I do think we should probably head to the tavern first to store Bhold.
Okay.
At least put him in the freezer, like.
Yeah.
Hygienic.
At least-
Health and safety is not a thing here, so.
Preserve it. Break out the
You
vinegar.
have a cellar, your own personal cellar. You can put him in there.
Okay.
All right, so
Yeah, we probably ought to check in with Susan as well.
yeah, it's nearly the
I'm
day
gonna
when he would give you your local update anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this opportunity to use sending to Rohal and Hurricane, respectively.
Okay.
It's like, we're back in the city. We're back in the city. God, that takes too many words for what it is. We're back in the city.
you're back in the city. Yada yada yada. We wish to speak to you.
We got to speak to you.
Where are you?
There's been a loss. We've lost someone. I'd rather talk about it in person. Where are you? Something along those lines.
Hurricane responds with, "I'm in the big tower. You can't miss it. And if you, and if you did, see a doctor." Then Rahal says, "I'm in the place you'll always find me.
Yeah, that's about right.
Check
Yeah.
your mail."
Will do. I'm not. I'll just do that. I'm not gonna like send another one.
Yeah,
off.
that's fine. As they finish up the messages, you traveling along the road back, you can see there's a large portion of the populace out today, in doing various means, talking to one another, and as you kind of travel through the crowd, quite a lot of people seem to notice and recognize you. A few people wave, saying hello, and they know who you are. I'd like everyone to roll a perception check for me, please. I say, Malcolm, you get this with advantage,
Okay.
because I think you'd be the first to notice this immediately.
Ooh, I don't notice nothing.
Hey, Infernal, you want to do a perception check? Does your dead body want to perceive?
Oh.
Okay, I got a nat 20.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
See
Okay.
I got a
Queglod.
nat 10.
Okay, Queglod, Elsyan sees this for sure, but you two see this first. Queglod, as you go into the city, you immediately notice that there's an increased military presence. They aren't what you'd expect. Malcolm, you're the first to realize this as you see what looks to be a small squadron of Tieflings riding dire wolves through the city. The civilians The civilians are very much at ease with this, and it seems to be there are also regular guards walking with them. You, Queglod, clock onto this, and you think there's something or someone from the Barren Lands here. And Malcolm, you are immediately, I want to find out what's going on. And you're immediately kind of racing in your mind, is whoever's come to see me must be of particular importance, because that's a lot of guards. And you suddenly begin to realize the Wyvern Riders in the sky, they're also not from Adamanthia.
Uh-oh.
As you begin to realize that whoever's here is of particular military importance.
Oh, no.
You
Okay.
continue heading to your tavern, and eventually as you get there, you can see there's two Tiefling guards, very well made up. Actually, to see if they notice you.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Do
the
they
Tiefling
notice?
guards notice you.
Clank, clank,
And
clank,
as you
clank, clank,
clank,
clank.
clank. as you're going down the road. You approach the edge of the tavern. One of the guards notices you, kind of gives you a nod, doesn't pay you any mind. The other one gives more of a respective bow to you, and the other one's like, why are you doing that? And doesn't seem to realize immediately who you are.
I'm just gonna like, I think Sasha's just gonna like, not so subtly, just like look at the guy and then just like point at Malcom, and then just like try and make a sort of like crowning motion.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Oh
no.
Actually, no, sleight of
couldn't
hand
have got-
or performance, your choice.
Performance. I'm gonna go with performance.
Oh, that was a 13. As
yeah,
you,
I accidentally.
you perform the motions. You rolled a nat one. He doesn't understand. He just looks at you and goes. He like mouths what, and kind of is very confused. As the other guard just looks at him with like wide eyes and gestures down at him. He doesn't seem to understand as you head into the building. He does see the giant they're currently carrying the dead Goliath, and he's like, nice.
Okay.
He doesn't seem to understand that either.
And killed the Goliath. Nice.
Right.
As you enter into your tavern,
I should say this. We've probably covered the body with like a blanket.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
That's fine. It's for ethics.
He thinks it's like a decorative.
It's cargo,
attire. No.
As you,
I was going for like hunchback of Arachnodam.
yeah, fine. That works too. As you head in, going off of your previous natural 20s, there, you two. Immediately as you walk in, Queglod, you look around. You can see this place is busy. There's a lot of people here at the moment, and quite a lot of them are tieflings, enjoying drinks, seemingly on guard as well with weaponry. You can see there are dire wolves outside, just kind of parked, enjoying general meats, currently tied to a stake that's been placed or pole that's been placed in your courtyard. And as you walk in, you look around. You can see various individuals around the place. This is very strange for you, Malcom. As you walk in, you kind of look around a bit, and immediately you lock eyes with an individual in what looks to be heavy armor. You're not entirely sure what race they are, but the individual just immediately, they have their greatsword drawn. They lift it up in one hand as if it's nothing, and just walk straight towards you.
It like threateningly or
No, not threateningly. As you enter in through your door, I'll copy and paste you guys up here.
Is there a non-threatening way to like
Actually, you
raise
know
a
what?
sword in the air
Never
and
mind, I
walk
won't do that. That'd
towards
be too
them?
much work. So yeah, as the individual walks towards you, you're all kind of like stop and a little bit taken aback by this. As he moves over, he looks at you, lifts up your hand, looks at the ring, and just immediately goes about inspecting you. He puts the greatsword away, lifts up your arm, kind of squeezes your muscles a little bit, like pulls at your horns slightly.
I feel
okay.
I feel very uncomfortable. What's going on?
Okay, Queglod and Sasha, I believe you also rolled relatively well. Elsyan also notices this. You see Redok currently sat in a seat over by the bar, currently talking to Suvan and one other individual. At the current moment, Malcom, you're being inspected. You don't know who that might be.
Oh, that's gonna be a bad
And
situation.
as the individual kind of finishes up, he goes, "All right, he's arrived." Immediately, a relatively large figure alongside Redok kind of turns around, spinning on his seat, to almost get a better look. You see a bright red tiefling, horns curled up and outwards before curling back into like a semi-ram style. You can see the hair is all pulled back. It's fairly short for what it is, but it's spiky. Kind of just spiking upwards and outwards to the back, fairly erratically. He has got very well-built muscles, wearing what looks to be some kind of dragon scale vest and cloak. Where he stands, you can see what looks to be a series of strange blades on his side, that he would probably use as weaponry. As he stands tall, he kind of begins to walk towards you, thick tail dragging behind him. And as he gets close, he places his hand. He's probably about a good half a foot taller than you, Malcom. As he places his hand on your head. Well?
Do I recognize them at all?
Roll me a history check with disadvantage. Because you've never met this individual before. Everyone else, I'd like you all to do insight checks, everybody else.
Just normal insight?
Nat one.
Nat
Nope,
one.
I don't know.
You have no idea who this might be.
Oh god, is it? Oh, natural 20.
Nat
Oh,
one.
not one.
Okay, Queglod,
Boy.
you have no idea. This is some random tiefling messing with Malcom. Ghaakt, you look at him and you go, they look strangely familiar.
15, by the way, on my end.
15 on your end.
You is-
You also think the same? You think they look similar, somehow.
Are you his uncle?
Not his uncle,
Or,
no. Grandfather.
Ah,
And it's good
Can
to
I just
finally
say,
meet
you look
him!
fan-
And he goes in for a bear hug. I'd like you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Oh god.
for his age.
Strength saving throw.
He looks
Hold
good
on.
for his
My
age.
God, he
What?
looks- He
800.
looks fantastic.
I don't know.
Jesus.
You
Tiefling.
just said he was really buff.
Yeah, he is. Think the Admiral.
Oh,
Which
why
one?
couldn't- that's a-
From Monster
that-
Hunter.
Oh,
that's a
okay.
Just
three.
imagine that, red with horns.
That's a 3, by the way.
Okay, 3. He goes in for a bear hug. You are squeezed. It's not comfortable as he does this. You immediately almost feel like, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. At which point, you feel a hand, you watch as a hand from the armored figure places it on his side and goes, that's enough. You'll hurt the boy. Oh, sorry. So good to finally meet you. I heard so much about you. So, are these your friends? He looks up at the rest of you, kind of just a big grin on his face.
Yes, this is the party I've been working with, and this is Sasha, Ghaakt,
Hello.
Elsyan, and Queglod.
Elsyan bows.
Okay.
Oh, is it me or does it hurt like with the fact that there isn't a Bhold in there?
I almost said Behold. I'm like, no,
I know.
no, I can't.
He looks at you and goes, well, it's good to know that you're with good people. Now,
And
I have a few
They
things
call
that
it.
I wish to speak to you about. They don't need to be in private, but I have plenty of things to talk about. Reddock, think you could grab me my drink? Reddock kind of nods, picks up his drink, and walks over. I had Hurricane and Zufen keep it from you guys that I was here. I wanted it to be a surprise.
well, I'm definitely surprised.
It's good. Good. You said your name was Sasha.
Yes. Hello.
He kind of looks at you almost intently with the dragon scale armor. The armored figure is also inspecting you at this point.
Oh, do you like the armor? Made it myself.
It's good make.
Yes, sir.
I must admit, that's very good blacksmithing. Must be
well-
forge-based cleric, I imagine.
Yes. This is only the first prototype, but it's looking good for the moment. So,
It's good stuff for the
Reddock.
beginning.
Reddock, you'll be pleased to know that the scales went to good use.
Oh, that is good. Yes. Well,
Yes.
this here, as he gestures to the armored figure, is my armorsmith.
Hello. I have been wanting to talk to you, and I say that in exactly that way.
Maybe we've got a lot to catch up on then. But for now, I'm going to stick to Triumph's side. He's got plenty of things to do.
That's fair.
Of course, of course. Oh, I've got to show you your gifts. Where is he? Chunk!
Elsyan's
Chunk!
eyes
He
light
turns
up
around
at
and
the
begins
word.
shouting a name, at which point you hear a dragging, like a of paws or something along the floor. You watch as... Where is Chunk? Chunky
Where's
boy.
Chunk? I
Chunky
need to see
Oh
Chunk.
no.
Chunk, where are you?
This.
Oh lord, he coming.
Chunk. I'm gonna copy him and I'm gonna scale up his second form so you can get a better look at him.
Sure.
Chunk.
Meet
Me,
Chonk, your new tavern mascot.
Oh,
Yes!
I love him.
Malcolm, you recognize this as an alehouse drake. These things live for a long time. They are dirty tricksters if you've ever met any kind of dragon.
They all don't let him near the card table.
So,
Hello.
you must be the tavern owner.
Indeed, we are.
Well, I'll have you know, I'm in charge around here now. He's gonna cast friends. I'd like you to make 2 saving throws for me, please, Sasha.
What happened to our
Charisma.
bartender?
Am I taking two
Oh,
saving
he's
throws,
there
or,
as
like-
well, but the alehouse drake is assuming command.
Is that one each, or am I making 2?
You're making 2, because one is if you get affected by friends, the other is if you remember he cast it on you.
Well, let's see how well this goes. Left and right, respectively, I'd imagine.
Okay, you succeed, but you don't realize he cast it on you.
Well, that's not accurate, but, well, we're happy to have you here. Hello!
Done.
So, I'm Sasha.
Usually they aren't so persistent, but oh well. Yes, my name's Chunk. Get any spillages, I'll drink them up. If you anything else, and I'll eat it up as well. Free food, that kind of thing. That's why I'm here, isn't it? And he turns to Triumph, and Triumph just goes, "Look, you're here 'cause my grandson's here, and when the new heir is declared, you get passed down." He kind of just lumbers over, scrambles onto a stool as best he can, and jumps onto the counter before sitting down.
I love this large shitty cat. Who can speak.
It's like Garfield, but worse.
Yeah, it is.
Except real Garfield.
Yeah,
not
by the way,
Garfield.
he is fat, like super fat. These things are supposed to have like a fly speed of 80. Yeah, his is 40 because he's super fat. So, yeah, he drags along the floor a bit.
Rip.
I hate whatever first working day of the week this is in this world. I despise the first working days of whatever. minimum
Okay,
time.
okay. Like, let's be clear here. Is it just me who wants to, like, grab his cheeks and just squish him?
I want to rub his belly.
Okay, he's gonna see if he heard that. Oh, he didn't. That's a natural 1. He doesn't realize he's too busy. He sticks his head in a tankard and just begins drinking what's left of it. Yeah, he's your new tavern mascot. Someone passed down through our family quite a lot. He's getting a little bit old, but a little bit of fat never did him any harm.
I mean, that's good. It's good for the winter, at least.
True. But here's something. That was something more for your tavern, from what I heard. Here's something a little bit more personal. And he pulls out what looks to be a box of some kind. Yes, and he passes it to you, and he places what looks to be a piece of paper on top. It's folded over quite a bit. I'd recommend you open that in your quarters. If you wouldn't mind, do you want to head there just to have more of a private scene to talk?
Yeah, sure. Would you mind stopping by my herbalism station? I'd like to check on my plants.
No, of
on the way
course,
there.
that's perfectly fine. Is there a
Queglod,
problem?
could you? No. Queglod, could you could you take our precious cargo into the cellar, please?
Yes, I'll make sure.
Ixnay on the Enshin May. In the Avernte.
The
Chill out.
armored figure looks at you relatively not necessarily confused, but like, what are you up to? Triumph just
I'm just
waves it off.
I'm gonna go over to him and just say, one of our companions fell in battle, and we are trying to organize a proper send-off. Unfortunately, we're stuck with the body.
I'll help Queglod with that.
Thank you. Yeah.
it's unfortunate situation, and honestly, getting this dealt with is my way of grieving. So.
I understand. You go ahead and do what you need to do.
Yes,
I'll be sticking by Triumph's side. Is it okay if I go in there as well? You haven't got any anti-magic zones in there, have you?
I don't believe we have, right?
Not that I know of.
Good. Okay.
I mean, like, keep an eye out in case there are, because we'd like to know if there were, but like...
He leans down a little bit. You can see more of a human face underneath, but you can see what looks to be piercing yellow eyes with a slit as he reaches out his hand for you, Malcom. Name's Blitz. Your
Nice
grandfather's dragon.
Ooh!
Oh, I get it.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
I see.
As
Nice
he-
to meet you.
He shakes your hand. He immediately, after shaking your hand, his attention seems to immediately deviate to Aurum. He goes over and begins to inspect her as you head into your private quarters. Heading in there, out of the eyes of the crowd from the outside, and into a more calming environment. As you enter into your back area, you hear what sounds to be as you see Chunk attempting to run down the corridor to try and get through the door while it's open. Apparently he's not been allowed in there. Do you guys wish to stop him?
Chunk? No.
Oh no! Wait. Where's he trying to get into? Is he trying to get into like?
So he's run through. You've gone through this door, and you've gone this way. He's noticed you all leaving, probably going to the room he's not allowed in. He's also not allowed in the kitchen as well. Anger's made sure of that. And yeah, he's trying to run to the door so he can get through it while it's open.
So are you asking if they're trying to stop him, or?
I'm asking if the party wants to try and stop Chunk from going into your private quarters.
Chunk, no.
I think so.
That-
yes.
Player says no, let it happen. My Sasha says that feels wrong.
That's not good for the health. That's not good for the health inspector. That's a big no-no.
Again, health inspectors don't necessarily exist.
Okay.
So...
Make
you
me
now.
We don't have standards in
make
this
me
world.
a persuasion check, Ghaakt.
Okay.
It's pretty good on Chunk's side.
Uh-oh.
Not as
that's
good as
really-
that. Though. Yeah, Chunk
that's,
Chunk halts
persuasion.
before the door, takes a little peek
My
round.
persuasion is 7, so yeah.
Yeah. He
There'll
halts
be
at
no
the
such-
door, takes a quick peek round. Fine. Just turns around and slowly drags himself back through the corridor. Immediately you see, I believe his name is Fredor, the goblin, currently carrying what looks to be food out through the corridor. He says, welcome back, sirs and madams. It's good to see you back here again. And he kind of goes to the door, and you see him immediately. Chunk's head just lifts up, tongue lolls out. He kind
Good
of
to see you
bounds
too, Fredor.
as he bounds through the door after the food.
God, I'm so thankful they wear name tags so I know who's who. That's my in-character explanation.
That's fine. As you head in through into your private quarters, immediately you see a large stack of mail on your table.
Mail.
There's about 100 letters there. You had to guess. Queglod, immediately you're like, more paperwork. Yay. As you see the letters there are what looks to be 5 letters that have been set aside.
Oh.
They seemingly,
Can
those
I-
ones are more personal. The rest of them seem to be business.
Okay. You know what? Honestly, do you lot want to deal with this? Go out. I'll deal with this. You lot go and as long as like these aren't personal to each of you, I'll deal with the.
There
the
is
chaff
one to
as-
the. By looking at it, there is one addressed to the Dawnseekers. There's one addressed to Queglod, which is sealed with a wax signet. There is one addressed to Malcom in what looks to be a rather out of fashion envelope made of what looks to be like more jungle-ish tree leaves. And then there is one addressed to Bhold, which is wrapped up and folded. That's been tied with a bit of string.
Question: what's the legality of opening other people's mail?
It's moral code, right? BT, am I right?
Yeah.
Alright, let me set it up. We're on stream, but I've got the overlay up for now.
Squares.
The one time you don't say anything about BT, this happened.
I know, I need to keep it up. It's now a ritual.
Yeah. So do they
They
what happened?
sensed weakness.
They fixed the thing that you were complaining about, or what?
Apparently, they're supposed to. I don't think they ever did. Alright, Crabbot's back in. Let me know if maybe make sure Crabbot is working. Let's play this. That okay?
Works.
Hearing loud and clear.
Cool. So,
Said
it's fitting for Beholder, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't find it earlier, so I'm playing it now.
I feel like Sasha is being quite like upbeat at the moment, but I think that's mainly having like a few days to be calm about it, and also a little bit also of like I'm working through the pain.
And mods are fully loaded for me. Alright, how long do you guys want to go for, by the way? Because we can keep going for a little bit longer. Because there are quite a few things I would like to get done.
I've got all the time in the world.
I know you do.
I'm also all right for tonight.
Simon?
And
I can. My tabletop's just crashed in a minute.
Okay.
I can go for a little bit longer. I can't go on for too long.
I'd say focus up on any Queglod based stuff, so we can if need be we can.
Ghaakt, you need any? You okay for time wise, or do you need to go at a point as well? If you're there, Will. Okay, Will's probably not about. Anyway,
Will, are you here with us, Will?
did you catch the end of the? It's not necessarily illegal to open his post. It's just a matter of morals.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, he's dead at this point. We kind of have to, so it's
Okay.
like
When Ghaakt gets back, I'll do that. Is everybody else claiming their own mail?
yes.
yeah. To clarify,
Okay,
it was
Sudz, here is yours. If you wish to read it out on stream, you're welcome to do so. If you want me to read it, I can as well.
to clarify. Quick thing, you said 5 pieces of mail, but we're
4,
forgetting what
sorry.
the 5th.
No,
4,
I
right, okay.
misspoke.
That tracks.
Yeah.
That tracks. Okay.
Okay,
We were like going, who's the 5th one?
Okay, Queglod, that one's yours. Read through it. If you wish to read it out, you're welcome to do so.
Okay.
I'll be taking the Dawnseekers one, by the way.
I was just going to post the Dawnseekers one in there, and then I was going to read it out for you if... I'm going to read it out for you on stream, just so you've got that.
That's fair.
So, in the Dawnseekers channel is the Dawnseekers one. So, I'll start with the Dawnseekers one. Ignore me or listen to me, your choice. Dear Dawnseekers... Oh, welcome back, Will. We are back. I'm just going to quickly... Everybody received mail. I've just posted the mail to the appropriate people. I've put the Dawnseekers one in Dawnseekers, and I'm about to read it for stream. Dear Dawnseekers, as you are well aware, Hurricane of the City... of the Cities, now Guild of Adamanthia, is in place. And as of your documents and signing, we require you to register as soon as possible to allow you to gain access to the ranking tier board and various other quests. Some requests have already been sent to us regarding the Dawn Marshal's requirement. So far, these requests have been fulfilled without your current presence within the city. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. To obtain your ranking within the guild, you are going to need to complete a mission assigned to you via us and/or, depending on your performance, a fight against another team of adequate ranking. If you wish to request one or the other, please speak to the guild officials or seek an audience with Hurricane. As previous heroes of Adamanthia, we have reserved one of the top 10 spots should you return before the new year comes around. If you wish to claim the spot, see above. Regards, the Guild Council of Adamanthia. Written in below, after the signing of all this, in a little bit more of a scribbled handwriting. Hurricane writing this. Please seek me in my tower if you see this before you speak to me. I wish to discuss this matter as the problem in the mines has escalated to a new level. Several guards and adventurers, including one of the original top 10 teams, has gone missing, suspected dead. I wish to talk this over with you should you be interested in taking this job. As a note, the base completion due to the difficulty will be a total of 1,000 gold pieces in advance due to your reputation, and 4,000 gold pieces upon completion. Anything you find in there is yours, with the exception of any rights to the mines you should find, which you may purchase at a later date if you so desire for 15,000 gold pieces. Sincerely, Hurricane of Steel. Signed.
Let's buy the fucking mine. No.
We don't have that money.
Yeah.
We don't have that money.
Other than that, did anybody else wish to read out their mail?
You can say mine. Doesn't.
Okay.
It's not really
So,
secretive.
from what Malcom gets, are you reading this out while Triumph is here?
Sure. Why not?
So, while your granddad's
Yes,
here,
Ram.
Dear Malcom, I'm not sure how to start a letter like this, but I'm visiting Adamanthia again during the winter festivals, as we don't have them where I live, and I've only seen snow a few times. I hope I can see you then. It would be really good to see you again. Verdantus.
What's it now?
Verdantus.
Verdantus, the green tiefling who came before.
Yes.
Triumph proceeds
I definitely remember this.
Triumph proceeds to, funnily in a family way, elbow you in the side. As well. Yeah.
Can Sasha get in on this? Like,
Yeah. Okay. Sasha proceeds to do so as well. You're now being elbowed by two people.
One high, one low.
Yeah. You can't avoid it. Queglod, are you reading yours out or keeping it secret?
Remember,
I
we
suppose I'll
just
read
had
it
a
out.
talk with
Huh?
Matt.
Yeah. I'll read it out.
You'll read it out? Okay.
Okay, so. Dear Queglod, I've been informed that you spoke to my employer about acquiring some private information from my info broker. And as a result, our info broker now wishes to speak to you again, as the information regarding your quarry has changed in a rather unforeseeable way. As such, please visit the location you spoke to the information broker ASAP, as it may be of vital importance to you. Sincerely, Sir Coldwater. Signed and dated 13th of June.
Just so you get an idea of what day you're on the 23rd of Juvik.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been gone a while.
Yes, you have. I assume you know what that's referencing to?
Yeah, that was,
Okay, cool. That's all I need to know. And are you reading Beholds?
Yeah, I suspect I probably should.
Okay.
You just send that to me.
No, I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
As you
That's fine.
open up the piece of paper and you unfold it, you see the word Behold written Behold in big capital letters on the front. As you continue to unfold, you see what is written beneath, fairly scribbled for what it's worth. I am going to proceed to copy and paste this into Dawnseeker so you can read it before I read it out. Dear Bhold, I'm not good at writing, but you're my hero. Can I train with you someday? In big bold letters at the bottom of the page is written Peter. All around the edge of the page you can see what look to be scribbles and drawings of a mighty Goliath barbarian fighting off hordes of undead, and slaying a big bad angel and roaring victoriously. This seems to have come from some form of child within Adamanthia who wanted to deliver this to Bhold.
So we can't tell anyone that Bhold is dead, can we? I refuse to kill a child's dream.
That he's gonna find out eventually.
Look, we tell them that
It
Bhold has
happens.
gone on a quest.
In a farm upstate.
Like, yes. Yes. And he gave us his Behir skull as a reminder. A promise.
And said he will come back for it.
Someday. I'm
Don't
just
know.
saying, I don't want to hurt this small child.
Just so everyone on the stream understands, he misspelt writing and train, and some.
And Bhold.
And
Yeah.
Bhold.
I don't
Yeah.
think Bhold knows anything about being a conductor.
Actually, that's the point. Did he misspell Behold, or did Behold misspell
No,
Behold?
Behold spelt Behold correctly. He misspelled Behold.
Oh. Probably asked the parent, how do I spell Bhold? And then it was like,
Yeah.
Well, you see, there's an E.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
you fool.
the E is silent and invisible.
And
Because it
invisible.
doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Well, no, the E is assumed.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, sifting through the other letters, you see 76 letters of thank you from various townsfolk.
Oh,
6
that's
receipts regarding your trades goods and also your purchases of various building upgrades. 5 invoices.
Put those in the files.
Yeah, 5 invoices of stock income, so when you've ordered things like food and drink.
Also in there. Need that for the tax man.
2 notices of expansion. This is with regards to if you wish to buy the land on either side, it is updating you of the price. The price of the expansion is listed in the Adamanthia build list and currently is going for 1000 GP.
Oh.
So,
Bargain.
so that's what if that's what you want to go for. That will go up as the area becomes more valuable. Do keep that in mind. And you received 3 application forms regarding potential positions to be filled, as you still have unfilled artisan stations, notably the Enchanter station. So you have 3 application forms for that, where people are wanting to potentially apply with regards to if you would like a artisan. I have gone out of my way to try and ask if I can join you, rather than the other way around.
Interesting. I mean, we should give them a look see at some point.
That's something for another day.
Yeah.
As Triumph as you kind of move into the back room, seeing the large papers, he looks at you, Malcom, and goes, "Well, go ahead and open it."
Yeah. First, I'm gonna read the paper and then open.
As you begin to unfold the paper, you feel it pulls itself out of your hands, and you watch as it begins to unfold itself.
My God, it's a howler.
It's not
Run!
It's not a howler, actually. It is
Oh.
something far more precious.
A scowler.
Scowler.
It looks at you angrily whilst...
As you... I'm just going to put this here. As it unfolds itself, it appears in front of you, and this form looks up at you, made of paper. As you see, written all over it in like brown newspaper, in the brown wrapping paper, covered in various bits of script. You see what looks to be a paper drake. Unfolded
love it
and
already.
currently sat on top of the box. It is pretty big. It's about the size of a falcon, so you'd be able to have it like land on your shoulder or your arm, and you'd be able to carry it that way. It sits there and it looks up at you with beady eyes, kind of blinks a little bit. There's the sound of moving paper whenever it moves or blinks. Its wings are folded back behind it.
Guess I move it onto my shoulder or something and open up the box. See if there's anything inside that explains
Okay.
the paper trick.
As you go to attempt to move it onto your shoulder, he's like, "You can always ask."
Draconic.
Would you like to
It isn't draconic.
move
Yes.
up here
Oh.
so I can look in the box, please? I'm actually kind of confused about this.
Yeah, that's fine. He climbs up onto your shoulder. He weighs quite a bit. It's for him being paper. He's still the same density regardless. So he's still relatively heavy. As you go and you slide off the top of the box, you see something fairly... It looks very nice, let's put it that way. You see what looks to be made out of some kind of ivory or bone, a warhorn, with what looks to be golden bronze designs at both ends for the mouthpiece and for the actual horn itself. The head of the horn looks to be that of like a dragon's mouth. And as you reach in and pick it up, you get the immediate sense that this is magical.
I look at Triumph. What is it?
It'll help you, that's what it is. I used to own one when I was younger. I passed mine on to your aunt, and, well, she still has hers, but I thought I'd give you mine.
Alright, I'm gonna identify it immediately.
Okay. You have the Horn of Draconomon. I will read it out for streams so they know what this does. You can use an action to blow this horn. In response, draconic spirits from the Crystal Plateau appear within 60 feet of you. They return to the Crystal Plateau after 1 hour or when they drop to 0 hit points. Once you use this horn, it cannot be used again for 7 days. This summons 2d4 plus 2 attuned wyrmlings. Attuned means that they are, if you are attuned to the item, you'll be able to use it properly. If you are not attuned, you will simply get 2d4. This is the stats for a Crystal Wyrmling. 32 health, 17 AC, tons of stats. They have nice resistances to acid, cold, fire, lightning, and poison. They also have a breath weapon, which is a 40-foot line, 3d10 force damage each.
Nice.
These things are scary and very powerful.
Set them up in like a circle, and whatever in the middle just gets obliterated.
Yeah, this can be used once every 7 days, so it's a last-ditch attempt. I need help. Well, do you like these things?
Yeah, I do. It sounds amazing.
Good. Good, I'm glad I came here. Your aunt wasn't so keen about coming. She said she had to stay in the Barren Lands, but... Well, I've been called to duty, so I'm heading out. I thought I'd drop in Adamanthia. I heard you were here.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're heading out to fight?
Indeed. I owe quite a lot of favors to Aleuir. Well, at least Blitz does.
Yeah, Blitz.
Speaking of which,
well,
you have a crystal drake. Does that mean your dragon's a crystal dragon?
Yes.
Interesting. You see a smile creep across his face where he stands there. Well, I must say, it's good to have met you. Good to have met the rest of you as well. As you all seem like good enough individuals.
Wait, are we around him now, or?
Oh yeah, you were all standing in your main home area. We'll assume.
Oh, it was lovely to meet you too, Triumph. I'll be honest. If you ever have free time, I would love to talk to you more.
I'll be in town for another week or two until the Winter's Festival kicks in. Then I've got to leave. The White Dragons probably won't like us being here.
Ah, yes, I can imagine that could be a little awkward.
But anyway, I'll leave you to your business. If you want to talk later, I'll be in your tavern. Speaking of which, you do very good drinks here, but you don't have much variety. I'd recommend picking up a few bits and pieces there and there.
Oh, we know. It's a new venture, so starting off slow, you know.
Of course. I've given you a little bit of help along the way. Hopefully my men have been paying a good amount. Hey, Blitz, if you're done. Turns around. You see Blitz currently just standing there, looking at Featherwing relatively intently. Yes, I think I'm done. He leaves through the main area. Triumph just kind of looks back. See you later, Malcom.
Yes, I'll be seeing you.
Bye.
Bye.
The
I
door,
love you, What? I didn't say that.
the door closes behind him as he heads back into the tavern with the rest of his men.
So,
I agree. So what? Are you my new owner?
well,
Wait, who are we talking to now?
The paper trick.
I suppose so. I am 100% lost at this point.
You and me both.
He is talking in common then, or
He's
can
talking
only...
in common now, yeah. He was speaking in Draconic before, but now he's talking in common.
Right. Oh, wow, you just keep adding to your sort of horde, don't you? Hello. Do you have a name I can call you, or?
I don't have a name, not yet. That's for him to decide. Otherwise, I'd be named after the book. And I don't think The History of the Barrenlands Volume 4 is a good name.
The book?
Yeah,
The book
that
he
I
was made
originate
out
from.
of.
The
The History of the Barrenlands. The Hot Bee. I mean, got a good ring to it, honestly.
Bee's a nice name. Hot Bee, maybe not
Bee?
so much. Yeah, like B-double-E.
Yeah.
He's going to use his for now it's gonna have to go on recharge. He's gonna transform into a small paper bee and begin buzzing around the room.
B it is then.
Transforms back, unfolding himself. By the way, he can Paper Mario, so he can go 2D.
Oh, it's me.
I'll send you his stats later.
Okay.
Oh, well, we've got like 90 different dragons. So that's great.
Look, don't question.
I can see that. But yeah, if you need any books or if you want me to file all that stuff, I can. Nice and easy.
Wait, you can file things? Oh my god, where have you been all my life?
Look, I'm very book smart. I'm quick at these kind of things. I'm kind of made of paper.
Yeah,
That
you are literally my favorite person on this team right now.
Good.
It was great of your grandpa to give us our own dragon solicitor when he visits at such a time.
I do know the laws of the land.
Yes. Well, good luck, B. You are, again, the only person I care about on this team now. That's a massive lie, but you know, I do love you.
Well, whatever.
Well, in all seriousness, it would be good to have you on board.
Yes.
Good to know I'm welcome. So, now what?
Don't know. I'm confused at this point, guys. What do we do?
Well, sorting out the stuff at Bhold seems like a pretty good way to start.
I think, honestly, next thing we do, talk to Zuvan. Behold's body is all right where it is. I'm assuming I've done some sort of later with it, like you put later rest on it, didn't you, Queglod? So it should be like safe.
Through a
couple.
ritualistic means, she's made it so that he can't be turned
Yeah,
to undead, and his body will lay at rest until properly buried.
Yeah, until we'll need to discuss what would be the best way to do that.
I think now we should talk to either Rohal. We should talk to Zuvin, and then talk to Rohal or Hurricane. Preferably both, but like, I mean, for some reason I feel like we can only really do one at the moment.
Well,
Don't
we
know
can.
why that could be.
I believe getting to Hurricane would. Well, actually, no. Either one would be easy.
He's as we said before, he's got other stuff to talk to us about, so that might be.
A hurricane
Yeah.
would be best.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes. Now, as for the lying to the public about Behold's lack of vitality, that's probably a terrible idea in the long run. But seriously, we're going to break a little boy's heart. What the fuck do we do?
I'm afraid to say that can't be our priority. It's simply
Yeah.
not going to be possible to maintain such a deception. Nor would it
Yeah.
be a good idea even if we could.
Yeah, I know.
No, I understand where you're coming from, Sasha, but it's simply not possible.
I would like to bury Behold here on the grounds. This was, well, obviously we'd want to get a fighting pit and bury him there, but honestly, I just think him being put to rest here in a place where he drank, where we made plans, where we were, sort of came into our own. I feel it would just be a good way to put him to rest. Also, Sasha totally isn't planning to bring him back from the dead somehow. What?
Nice try.
It won't work. It won't work, but
Yeah, no, it won't. Not at this stage. True resurrection won't work at this stage. Not even Wish would.
No.
Rippity.
Animate dead.
I think you'd have a lot more problems than just the Raven Queen.
Yeah,
At that point.
Queglod and the Raven Queen herself would probably
Yeah,
smack me around a
that
bit.
would be.
Well,
Look, he's alive again.
So-
While we're on the subject, I'd like to bring up that while I was going through his things, I found this paper.
Oh.
And it appears that he was practicing writing his name. And, his surname's on this.
Wait, shit, Behold has a surname?
Yes.
Had a surname.
What does it
I-
say?
Specifically, it's oh boy.
Can you... Okay, Chris, you know how to say it.
Let me know if I'm
Gold-
butchering this.
Gold Cahalthi.
Gold.
see, even
Gold
Chris.
Cahalthi.
Gold Cahalthi. Yeah, it takes a while. You got to do each
Gold-
bit in sections because
Oh.
it's very tongue twisted.
Gold Cahalthi.
Kalathi, I think.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to spell.
There's a couple of H's in there.
Behold's Last Vengeance. A really hard to pronounce name.
Gold
Golkalathi.
Cahalthi.
Golkalathi.
Gold
Gold-
Cahalthi. Yes.
Okay.
See, that's all we needed.
Yeah. It seems, from what you recognise, Queglod, this is him reaching stages where he's beginning to learn to read and write properly.
Hmm.
Let's change this music. Too much. Too much.
Doom and gloom.
Yep.
Too somber.
Hmm.
All right, so shall we talk to Zuvin and then
Yeah, I do.
try and talk to Hurricane?
Yes.
Okay. So you're talking to Zubin
1 minute.
first.
Just before we head off, before we leave the private chambers, I'm just going to drop off the Shalia, the Great Sword, Chillsbane, and my old chainmail off in my room before getting a move on. Just because it's a lot of weight, honestly.
You drop all that stuff off. It's in preparation for you to pick up later. You head out back into the main tavern. As you look around, you can see Zubin there. You can see the others. They've done what they needed to. Malcom, did you want to check up on your?
Oh yeah, I did want to check up on that.
Yeah, checking up on it. All of the slots have been filled, bar 2 because they're being reserved for anything special. The strawberry stones are growing really well. The healing herbs she's got a ton of, and she's been harvesting them and drying them, but she doesn't know how to prepare healing potions.
I did leave.
Yes,
notes
you
saying
did
how
leave
to.
a recipe on how to make it, but she's still learning it.
It's
gonna take her several months as a dryad to learn how to make healing potions.
Well, that's.
Other than that, the spring bells are coming along. Both of the compost bins now have flowers in them. She has successfully cultivated them, and the flowers are growing. Not in abundance, but she's putting bits of the meat that's coming from upstairs in the tavern, some of the scraps in there, before Chonk gets them.
No, Chonk.
Chonk better not mess up things with my plant.
Chonk will perish from you. Chonk will perish before any of you guys die, because he's gonna have like cholesterol and the amount of stuff he's eating and beer he's drinking. He's probably just gonna be drunk at one point and hurt someone. He's got like 60 something hit points for a half CR creature.
What? Half CR? What?
Yeah, half CR with like 68 hit points or something. He's got more than Bhold had. But yeah. So, you go down, everything seems to be well. She, again, doesn't speak to you all that much, but she does continue working. You can also see, as you've gone out back, the back garden has been entirely tended to. It is no longer just a wild thrush of random grasses. It is now cultivated to house fruits, vegetables, various other bits and pieces that she's worked on. You've got a fully fledged garden out back.
Yes.
She has been working on that, and she'll continue to work on that and keep it maintained. Again, she's being paid by law, but she isn't there for the pay.
Yeah.
It just rolls around back into the business.
Yep. As you finish up there, you all head back out, and you can see Zubin. You can see Zubin out in the main area, currently serving Red Ock and Triumph.
Did anyone else know that we had? Did anyone else not know that we had a dryad underneath the tavern? No, just me. Okay.
I think it was. Yeah, it was announced. I think you might have been late for that session.
Yeah, I think I was. So
I don't even remember that.
I know about it out of character, but I know that in character I didn't know about it. So
yeah. Oh yeah, no, in character I don't think any of you knew, but. So as you head back out, you see Zubin finishes serving up, and Triumph kind of looks over. He's laughing and talking to Red Ock. With your passive perceptions, Malcom and Queglod, because you've got Felipe on your shoulder. Oh, and Harlan as well. Sam definitely hears this, but you three hear this. As you hear what sounds to be, as Triumph goes, "So, Red Ock, you want to have another challenge again at some point? See if you can beat me this time? You're on, old man. Don't think that I'm not going to defeat you this time."
This is amazing.
Triumph just breaks his fucking arm. Now, what, you work out whether I'm talking about whether Triumph breaks his own arm, or whether Triumph breaks Red Ock's arm. Technically, I'm not wrong.
At which point you see kind of Red Ock kind of stops and goes, I haven't fought you before, Blitz. How about I fight you at one point? You've got an arena big enough to house me. Otherwise I'll be half-arsing it. Which point Red Ock just kind of looks and goes, Yeah, fair point. Can't do that on the top side. I'm not allowed up there anymore.
Oh. That's...
As the conversation simmers down, you see Zuven walk over. Yes, how can I help you? Did you want drinks, or were you looking to know what was going on with the tavern?
I think we'd
the second
appreciate
one.
an update.
Well, tavern's coming along nicely. You've got your request board. I have received a small portion of funding from various questing adventures. Somebody left a tip the other day. In terms of pricing, we've received quite a big static income from just the sheer amount of tieflings, and with the increase in the amount of tieflings that are now going to be in town, we're getting a good amount in that regard. The amount of individuals has drastically increased, but we're mostly getting a lot of drinking or drinkers coming in. We aren't getting too many people coming in for the food anymore. The dwarves are still keeping up as they usually do, and your builders have been fairly out of business. So if you want to expand and keep them busy, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to do that. So again, that's down to you. All I know is that we've got plenty of tieflings currently coming in, and quite a few of them are going to be staying afterwards. We've managed to attract in some more Slitherians. They've been more than happy coming in. From out of town, we got a few Tabaxis as well, and a few more Dragonborn have come into play as well. In terms of orcs, we've actually unfortunately declined a little bit. A few of them have become adventurers, and we've lost a few. But as we got more smiths in the area, our human count has gone up quite a bit. We're making quite a lot of them, and as I said, the dwarves are keeping up, and they're making up for more than they're worth. All in all, profit margins have increased by about 20% since you last left, or since I last spoke to you.
Well, that's good.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, you're now
Now,
making
obviously-
34.63 GP rather than 24 GP a month. So actually, it's probably more like
40-ish.
40 to 50%
Yeah.
increase. Yeah.
Yeah, big.
Yeah.
Zuven.
Yes.
Obviously, at some point we do intend to expand.
Yes.
But as I'm sure you also know, some of these will require a bit more oversight from someone who is capable of doing so. We've already agreed to do the manager thing, so I just thought I'd bring it up now. If that's what I'm doing here, is that cool with everyone?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
So, we were wondering if you feel comfortable, possibly taking on a managerial position, along with your current duties, or whether you think we should find someone else if it'll be too much work for. If it'll be too much for you.
In all honesty, I'm more than happy to take on this role. I think this will be very worthwhile, and I think it will also mean I've been kind of acting manager for a while. I think I'm ready to take on such a
honestly,
position.
yeah.
Yes,
Because-
it would be good to make it formal.
Official, and also more money.
That is true.
Anyhow, I think we can formalize that quickly. We can formalize that. Would you say now or tomorrow?
That's perfectly fine. When you get the paperwork done, you can focus on that for now.
Yeah.
But I'm more than happy to just say that I'll do it for now, and we can figure out the specifics later.
Excellent. On that note, given your now official managerial position, or soon to be essentially official position, what direction do you think would be most useful to take for the tavern? You're here every day. You've seen people come in and go out. What do you think would be the biggest boon to us at this point in time?
Well, with the increased amount of adventurers coming in, there's quite a few seeking homes temporarily for setting up jobs. Not everybody can afford a house like you can. As a result, a lot of people are coming in for inn-wise. You'd probably get quite a few come in for that. You'd probably also get quite a few come in for food and drink, therefore. If they're coming in from working and doing various jobs adventuring, then they'll probably come in and have some food at the end of the day. Saves them using up rations for adventures which they want to keep a hold of. I'd imagine the same would apply to you if you were traveling quite a lot around the place.
You're not wrong.
Otherwise, if you're looking for other specifics, if you're thinking about it, if you have enough, a guild would probably, after you get yourself set up within the managerial system of the ranking tier. I've heard quite a bit about people talking about how the Dawn Seekers or the Dawn Marshals are working to get themselves in the top 10. In such a case, setting up a guild could be rather worth it, but you'd need quite a lot of things for that. That's the problem. Yes.
Well,
we currently meet most of the
one step at a
requirements.
time.
You'll just need a healing team and an inn. So the inn would probably be your most definite investment, which would work. Upstairs would obviously have to be built, so that might take some time, especially if we're not going to close down for business for the day. The fight pit, let's just say some of the more rowdy customers have been asking if we're making one yet. They heard rumors that we might be from the dwarves, and, well, it might work better if people can take their anger out on each other in there and place bets.
Yes. By the way, we haven't told Zuvin that Behold's dead, did we?
No. However, he does know that he does know that Behold's not with you guys, and he also did notice you carrying a rather large humanoid package in.
As we do definitely want to get a fighting a pit at some point. As you probably already intuited, Behold is no longer with us, and nothing will be able to bring him back, I'm afraid.
It is unfortunate to hear that for sure, but I understand. I didn't want to bring it up just in case it was still a sensitive or wrong matter, but yes, it is a shame.
It's not great. It's not great, but
No, thank you for your sensitivity, but yeah,
I understand.
You ought to know that.
If there's one thing I've learned, it's that grief in the wrong way can be a poison.
Yes.
And, well, Behold wouldn't have wanted us to be moping about.
Yes, of
He'd
course.
probably want us to murder something big and dangerous.
Now, there's actually a few things I wanted to talk to you about. I was hoping you would message me tomorrow and I'd tell you, but there are a few things I wish to hopefully require. In managerial position, I probably have the authority already, but would you be okay to authorize getting supplies for eggnog in preparation for the winter festivals? And with more festive foods.
I'm good with that, everybody.
Yeah, I suppose we can make those
That,
arrangements.
honestly, after everything else, that sounds real nice.
That's good to hear.
Yes.
I also wanted to bring up that with the winter festivals coming on nicely, and people preparing for it, my family typically they don't always stay at home during the winter, and they're coming here. I was going to ask if it's possible to set up an inn so they could stay here. If not, do you mind if I take a few days off during the winter festival to be with my family? Obviously, I can find someone to take my place as barkeep.
I'm fine with
acquired. He's more than talented for that.
Yes.
Same with Shiva.
I'm fine with either. What time would they be arriving? Because it may be possible to set up the inn, because I believe I know where we could locate some last-minute funding very, very quickly.
Wait.
They're going to be arriving about 3 days before the festival hits, before the White Dragons head down. That's typically when the people migrate south.
Could I get like a day thing? Because I know in character we definitely know when
that
that
would
is.
be
but I super
1,
don't.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days.
How
And that's not. Is that 9 days till they arrive, or
9 days till they arrive, and then it will be 12 days till the
That's
winter
cool.
hits. You were saying, Sudz?
and
Yes.
how much would it be for both them? Like doing the upstairs to get the
Upstairs costs 200, inn costs 250, innkeeper is 10 GP per week. It can be your barkeeper, so it can be Zuvin if you wish.
Just Zubin is literally the
I would
entire.
recommend at this point hiring a second barkeeper / innkeeper, because at this point
Yeah.
Zuvin's going to get overworked.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need,
I can
Uh,
I can pay for the things if we want to get them built now.
I mean, honestly, I believe we actually have like the money in the budget already.
You have
But,
you have 1,200 gold pieces stored, and you
But
have,
I don't necessarily know if we
and you have
want to
20
touch that for
and you
this.
have 20 GP a week for now, but you don't have the incapacity or you don't have the incapacity or demographic that would supply you. So yeah, in terms of supplies as well, your drink supplies, because you have gone up a bracket in customers, your drink supplies have gone up by a small portion. So do keep that in mind, that your food and your drink supplies have gone up by 5 GP each. So it means your total is 8 GP per week total that you're earning. Your food supplies are being cut by various means, but
What I'm considering we do here is like we need a new revenue. I think the things like I think we get the inn because that's good. That's good and useful. If we're working at a loss for a little while, that's fine, because we do have quite a bit of a chunk in the budget which can just be drained for a few weeks and it would still be fine.
speaking out of character, a fat ale drake turns its head sharply looking at you as you say the word chunk.
No, not you, dear. We're talking about money.
Let me see what spells he can cast on you. He has access
well
to
tried.
He has access to second level spells. Half CR creature, by the way.
Well, what does he hit me with this time?
I gotta find out. Hold on. I gotta go to find it. He's a very dangerous creature. These things should not be half CR. These things could, like, 10 of these versus your party and you'd lose. I'm not even joking. These things are scary. Like, he can burp and make you throw up. That's his breath weapon. You think I'm lying? I am not. I'll get you his stats and post them in Discord later.
Can I know where Eldricks are from?
Tome of Foes. Oh, not Tome of Foes. Tome of Beasts.
And quick thing before he does murder me, I have to say, I love you, Chunk.
Sure.
Wait, is it Chunk or Chunk?
Chunk. CHOONK.
Love you, Chunk. Love you, Chunk.
He is going. He can cast invisibility on himself. Okay, make me a charisma saving throw versus hideous laughter.
Yes, that spell I never use.
Yeah. And then roll another charisma saving throw to see if you realise that he cast on you.
I hope I don't notice again.
You don't notice.
Oh. So I see some mystical.
He says to you, "Hey, Sasha."
Yes. My dear darling Drake, I love you so much. Is there anything I can get you? Would you like some food or drink?
Oh, of course. I would always like some food.
Here, I pull out some like jerky from the packs and just here you go.
He slowly belly wiggles over to the edge of the table as he
Oh no! I come over to him. I am feeding him from my hand. I love this ale drink so much already.
Okay. He makes a nom motion. Yeah, this guy knows at will. He knows friends and vicious mockery. 5 times a day he can cast calm. Each of these he can cast 5 times a day. Calm emotions, dissident whisper, ray of sickness, hideous laughter, and he can cast confusion and invisibility 3 times a day.
Now the question is,
He's got 65 hit points. Granted, he's overweight, but his speed will be his speed is lowered because of that. And his breath weapon causes you to be stunned for 1d6 rounds on a failed DC 14 con save.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's not.
With my luck, I'd fail it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you'd be stunned for d6 rounds. This guy, he is bonus security. He can take on peasants.
I mean, so could a light breeze.
Yeah, well. Oh well. So yeah, you can decide what you want to build later. But yeah, that's when the people will be arriving, and I'll work on that when it gets there. Yeah, I know, I agree, Infernal, it should be. As you finish that up, you were heading down into the underbelly?
No, we were heading to Hurricane, right?
Big tower.
I thought that was.
So
Okay.
question:
Yeah.
Did my flattery and feeding manage to dissuade
Yes, dissuade
Chunk from?
from using vicious
Aw.
mockery on you.
I love it so much.
You can always bribe Chonk with food. Do not ever
Oh.
think that you cannot bribe Chonk with food.
Maybe we should just get him some eggs. So we should just like ask for the fellow.
There are literally fried eggs always from Angus. That's why he's going to become so much fatter. Soon he'll be one of the goblins rolling around. Anyway, as you head towards the center of town, you can see. Oh wait, no, this is the underground music. You weren't going underground. You were going overground.
Indeed.
Be quiet. Be quiet.
Underground, overground, wombling free.
Okay.
The Dawn Seekers.
As
of
you're
Womble.
going through town, you go through quite a large number of crowds as you're traveling towards the center of town. Quite a few people do notice you. They also wave to you and all that. You see the heightened military patrol here. You can see the wyverns flying up above. Triumph is going to remain where he is for now. He'll take care of his business later. As you head to the center of town, you can see the spire that goes up through the middle. It has 4 main archways that lead inside into what looks to be a general, which was the marketplace, now into a more indoor marketplace, with a central pit in the middle where there seems to be contests going on. You can see, just coming up to the edge of it, you can see this place is a lot more well fortified, and this place has been built out of where previous buildings were. As you head inside, you can see what looks to be about 20 request boards around the outside of this area with various quests pinned to them. You can see all manner of various adventuring teams. That's the word I'm looking for. Adventuring teams looking around as they're picking up general quests, they're talking, picking up supplies. There are potion stands, there are weapons areas where people are selling weapons. This place seems to be a pure marketplace. And around certain areas, about 3 of the separate areas around the central pit, you can see spiral staircases going up. As you look up through the center of this place, it is hollow almost all the way up. You can see various buildings that are almost attached to the or built into the side of this tower-like structure. You can see bridge and walkways attaching. You can see floating globes and just hanging from the ceiling. You doing that on purpose? Or are you?
Yes. Suddenly, Sasha has a terrible vision of great potential destruction.
Yes. Oh, right. Yeah, stone cutting. Yeah, this place does have a few weaknesses, but to get that to work, you're gonna need several hundred barrels of dwarven black powder. So, not something reliable to happen, or an airship crash. But this is an airship.
Like I heard this place is almost entirely hollow. And I was just like, oh no! I said this could be terrible.
It's hollow on the way up. It's still very thick material around the outside. It's just it's not paper thin all the way up with people walking along it. You're looking at at least a couple of meters thick stone going all the way up.
Okay, well that's fine.
So this place is very well structured. It's an airship port where there's going to be a lot of cargo on the upper levels. As it goes up, you can see what look to be more managerial offices. You can see various bits and pieces. As you get closer to the pit in the center, you can see various individuals fighting one another, seemingly going on contest. Quite a lot of people kind of like cheer as this is all going on. There doesn't seem to be bets, it just seems to be people cheering and kind of competing for either fun or for other reasons. You get a sense you're going to have to go up one of the spiral staircases to go up. They all seem to go up, just all of them reach a top area, or the next platform up. I assume you want to ascend?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Sasha ascends
Yeah.
upon wings of flame. No.
You proceed to climb up the stairs. As your party goes through, Arachne is asked to wait outside. Because Arachne is a large creature. She'll be taken care of, do not worry, there are people who are professionals of this, and if not, there are Tiefling guards around who know your royalty. So they will take care of Arachne.
Good.
So Arachne is left behind. Aurum is allowed to come with you because Aurum is your personal guard, and you're kind of a special guest to them. And B is B. He can be as small or as large as he needs to.
I'm gonna ask Featherwing to hang out with
B.
Arachne,
Okay.
just to let me know if anything happens.
Okay. Featherwing's gonna sit over and just be sat with Arachne. B is just sat on your shoulder watching as all this is happening, kind of taking in the sights as much as you guys are. You travel up the spiral staircase, you reach the first floor of this large tower. You can see at this point there are various other staircases and not necessarily rope bridges, but it continues going up the outside of this, kind of curling up around the outside of this area now, with various rooms and other sections carved into the walls themselves. As you go, you can see various other officials and individuals. They come over and they almost stop you and they go, have you got an appointment?
Yes. Hurricane expects us. We were told to come here immediately the moment we were back in the city.
Ah, okay. Yeah, sure. Do you know where you're going?
No idea.
No, actually, we left before this was actually built.
Right, okay.
So, as you can imagine, it's quite a confusing day. Just out of
You're the Dawn Marshals. Oh, yes, of course. Follow me. Do follow me. And he leads you up.
Yeah, of course.
As you're being led up, he does proceed to talk to you a fair bit about how he's grateful that what you've done for the community, how you've helped rebuild the city in the way you did, how a lot of people are happy with it all.
Okay, like just Sasha's full on doing the PR voice, like situation right here, despite the fact it really should not be me doing this.
So as that's
Boom.
as that goes through, you eventually reach what looks to be a doorway leading into some kind of more office area. The stairs continue going up, but he knocks on the door a few times, at which point there's a come in.
Right.
Hurricane, your guests have arrived? Ah, yes, of course, Dawn Marshals. Please do come in.
Oh God! What was? Anyone else hear that echo?
Who? What?
Okay.
Yeah, that was a
was
bit of a
noise,
weird.
but it
You
wasn't-
kind of got a bit sort of turned into
Reverb
a
on
very
it.
godly god voice there.
Okay, well, it's come up on
Yeah.
stream, so it's great. Yes, please
Okay.
do come in. You're welcome to take a seat, and if you want, grab something to eat and drink while you're here.
Sasha. The only thing Sasha actually comprehends from that is free food. So,
I mean,
no.
honestly, yeah. You might grab a little snack with them.
Apples.
Right.
There's all manner of fruit in fruit bowls. There are sweets.
Apples.
Yes, there are apples. There are sweets. There are also various other kind of niceties around the room. Yes, it's good to see that you've returned. Do you want to get straight down to
yes.
business? I heard you lost Bhold.
Yes. I'd say we deal with that first of all.
Yes. This will be a relatively big hit to the public. How do you want to handle it?
Well,
We can keep this under wraps if you want. If you want to have a private burial and then not mention it, people might ask questions, and in such a case we can deal with that. But in all honesty, it might just be better to tell the public.
it's better
Yeah.
to tell them, but we need to do it right. I don't think there should necessarily be. I'm considering
we do a personal burial on our property. That's more in keeping with the Goliath traditions and cultural niceties. I say niceties, but you know what I mean.
I'll pretend I
and-
didn't hear that, because technically there's rules with putting bodies on your property, but I'll allow it, and I'll ignore it for now. You go ahead. You've done enough for the city that I think ignoring
Oh, I did
one
not know
mysterious
that.
body- It's a matter of generally it gets handed over to religious individuals and they handle it. Granted, you are religious individuals. I just mean they know how to dispose of the body just in case something foul play happens. It also means reselling the property. Someone's not going to discover a dead body under their flooring.
That is.
Yeah, you know what? If we move out, we'll take him with us.
All right, we have a deal. I'm fine with that. You go ahead and do what you need for that. I
and
agree.
I'm thinking...
I personally don't think the public might want a ceremony. I don't think it's necessary.
What I'm thinking, we do a sort of wake ceremony, a farewell to Bhold, as it were. But we bury the casket with. We say that that's following Goliath custom. We thought it was not feasible to bring his body to such an event, and we have laid him to rest as befitting of his culture.
I can agree with that. I think what I'll do on my end, I'll keep it under wraps for a few days until I get your approval. Then probably what I'll do is I'll have the word spread through a controlled means. I'll have a few individuals posting notices, town criers, that kind of thing. I'll just have them go around and I'll let them mention that Bhold has fallen in battle, but the Dawn Marshals are now stronger than ever. He gave his life for the cause.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be befitting of him, and I think
also,
it would mean that people won't then panic.
There's a slight hiccup that I feel really awful about. I pull out the letter. There is a small child sent a letter to Bhold. I turn it around. And I have no idea how to fucking deal with this.
He has a look at it and goes,
I was thinking like a personal visit from one of us.
Take this to Rohal and Tiak. They'll find your boy, this Peter. Just ask them nicely if they would be willing to, if they could give you where he lives so that you could go and speak to him privately. I think it's best you handle this issue.
That would be the best way to handle it.
If he finds out through the media that his hero has died, I think things could go poorly.
Yes, I there's nothing more upsetting than a child's broken heart. So I think it's best to handle this personally, and yes. Anyway, that's that mostly done. Keep us informed of whatever you decide for the larger ceremony.
That's fine.
If you'd like to be present at the smaller ceremony, well, we're always available.
Give me a day and I'll be there.
Okie dokie.
Very well then.
Just as a side note on that, with Bhold dead, and this being how it is, how will that function in regards to the Dawn Marshals? There isn't much history on the previous ones, from what I know. It's rather poor caretaking. But the Dawn Marshals were immortalized heroes of the old. If one of your own has died, it's worth finding a replacement. Not to sound cruel.
I understand where you're coming from. It shouldn't be an issue. Not all of the Dawn Marshals were found at the same time. And numerous numerous numbers of them in the past apparently have passed away. It's a bit mid-adventure, so
Okay.
It's not a big knock historically. Obviously, personally, it's quite upsetting, but
On a personal note, I'll keep that in mind. I'll make sure that, well, obviously that won't waver me, but it's the public I'm worried about. I'll figure out a
Yes,
way to make sure things are kept under control, and I'll make sure that my enforcers are aware that if anybody does come knocking with regards to this, just to keep safe, I'd also recommend keeping his body not hidden, but make sure that it's buried in a place you can monitor. If and somewhere secure. If someone
I'm
gets
I'm
wind
just
of a
gonna look over
Marshal
at
corpse, that's not gonna go down well.
Yeah, I'm gonna look over at Malcolm and just look at him and like nod and like go like look at him like you cool. Is the previous plan good? The burying under the
Sure.
The plan
back,
was
I
to
guess?
bury him under the cavern and basically
And put him in the
grow
garden.
him.
Yeah.
Grow a Bhold tree. In 3 to 4 years, we'll have our very own Bhold fruit.
Give me like 16 consecutive successes on D100s and I'll be okay with that.
Okay, let's go.
Let's do it.
No. As
Well, you said it now. Get 16 beyond.
No, I'm not doing it. Anyway, I'm not risking that chance. I know it's tiny, but I'm not risking it. I've seen what you guys can do before.
We have had some quite dumb rolls.
Yeah.
But yes, I'll handle that as best I can. I obviously have matters to attend with you as well, when you wish to hear them.
Yes. We should probably deal with that. I think we're all good on the Bhold front. It's been a long week, honestly.
Yes, I have 2 issues currently. The first has a name. They're known as the Eclipsed Ones. The second is the mine shaft that Regan was previously going to sort you on, but things have changed. The mine shaft has become far more dangerous. Teams have gone missing, suspected dead. All the details are in the letter I sent. The mine... We sent some guards down there to survey it. We had them on sending stones for the entire time. They went down there was a few shouts, and then nothing. They didn't manage to get many words through, and we don't entirely know what's down there. We don't know how far it goes down, what we're dealing with, or what could be there. One of the top 10 teams, as I said, died. They were top 5 at the time, and the other teams are currently restricted from going down there due to, if we lose another one of the top 10, it could cause a relatively large impact on the guild. Which is why I'm entrusting it to you, individuals who have saved the city. I trust your judgment more than I trust any of the others, in all honesty.
Well,
Yes, I think we can help to investigate.
I did. When I remember when I borrowed the horse to go to the mountain.
Yeah.
I'm saying this to Hurricane.
Yeah.
I found
sorry,
some.
No, don't worry. I understand now. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
When you borrowed the horse.
I found some evidence of a bit of a vamp plant problem, and I had somebody look into it, and they couldn't really find anything. So maybe it was.
I'm not familiar with this vamp plant.
I'm gonna describe basically the one that we went up against.
He has no idea what one of those things are.
I'm just gonna describe what it was like.
I see. If such things do exist, I do recommend that you take care of that then. If you've had experience in these creatures, you might know how to take them down. If I sent anybody else, they probably wouldn't know what they are. I'll leave that one to you in such a case.
Brief question. Hurricane knows about like the criminal underbelly and all that going on down there, right? Like we know that for a fact, and
He
he's
didn't
fine.
previously. He does now. He was kind of interrogated, but
You may know that there was well, relatively recently, just before you came in fact, there was a certain individual who won a big sweepstake in the fighting arena and set up a shop, and how he now has another buddy running.
I'm not aware of this, but go.
Green Abod,
I haven't heard of them. No.
Okay, well, they'll be helpful in this, so we can get their help on it. So just keeping you up to date.
Okay. The other matter, I'll leave the rest of that to you. The other matter is one that I will need your attention on. Not necessarily now, but within the next day. Unfortunately, a team known as the Eclipsed Ones, they are currently the 4th highest in our ranking.
Mm-hmm.
They have been bullying the other adventurers.
Alright,
Taxing them as they are stronger adventurers and able to take, sometimes by force. The increased military power that we have has been useful, and we have caught them a few times, but when it comes down to it, nobody ever confesses to it, for one reason or another. We know what their group is like, and in such a case, we are going to deal with them justly. I would like your group, as an currently registered guild, to be put on par with them. Should you win, I can de-escalate their strength down to that of the minimum amount and potentially arrest them on charges. Now they are no longer going to hold the strength they have over my head.
Mm-hmm.
In such a case, it would also mean you would end up on the higher end of the board. I would need to arrange this fight, but it is something I plan to do because I need them gone. They're causing too many issues, but you can't challenge them outright. There's a new team. If you try to do so, they'll probably just hit you there in the street. And granted, you have guards and you have royal guards. But if the ones from the Barren Lands get involved too much with the guild, it could cause a turmoil politically. Not something we want to deal with the winter festivals on the horizon.
It needs to be run through officially.
Exactly.
No, yes, it makes sense. You want to deal with this.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
What if we don't manage to necessarily defeat them? Do you think it'd be possible to organize some sort of meeting where we could perhaps get them to admit something?
I don't think they'd be willing to do so. If you should lose to them, that's fine. I can do it through other means. I've already spoken to Rahal, and she's already organized a team that can take care of them should things get sour. Send them on a mission, have them never return, that kind of thing.
Ouch. Oh, I got a mission.
Well,
Get me my dust of a solar star.
No, find me Big Doggy.
They say there's some. Have you heard of the Winter Guardians?
Oh, jeez. Okay.
That's a way to get rid of them.
Here's what. Right. Well, honestly, we're a bit shaken from the loss of Bhold, and
yes.
not to put too fine a point on it, but he was our barbarian. He was big. He fought things. He hit things hard enough to take him down, and losing that from our group is difficult. How quickly do we need to sign into this? Sign up to this guilding?
As much as you need, preferably before the winter festival, so I can get rid of them before then. You've got as long as you need to deal with them.
Right.
That's fair. We'll need.
I say we take a little bit.
If you want, I can give you their profiles with what they are and what they can do. Maybe you can plan against them.
That might be helpful if we have some time to.
Yes, I'll send those to your house through the mail.
Very well then.
I have a few of your ravens round here. You might want to check in on them. One of them has been certainly making his mark. I've had a few complaints about bird droppings as one of them seems to be.
I'm gonna look at. I'm looking at Queglod and Malcolm. This is your domain. Yeah.
Can she actually talk to birds, though?
No.
I can.
Other than that, there's. I don't know how it found its way in there. It's a wild one, from what I can tell.
Hold up. Can you describe this one? Have you seen it?
Not at first hand. I've heard that it's got a fairly fluffed up crest, looking in opposite directions, flies into buildings all the time.
I know this one. I met it on the mountain. I love this bird.
Okay. It's your tavern. You take care of it. You surprise me as ever with your strange what you know. Yeah. I've got paperwork to get back to, as boring as it is. I'll probably drop in for a drink at your place tonight. So, yeah, if you want to talk more then, off the clock, then I'll meet you then.
Yes, that would be good. Also, before we go, do you like the armor?
I'm not saying I'm an artisan of the craft, but it does look good. And
Yeah.
it's probably more protective than the chain armor you were wearing.
Yeah. Big upgrade. It's quite good. Yes. Anyway, sorry. Just wanted to get that. Just wanted to ask. It's nice to have a chat with people.
That's fine. I'll speak to you later, I guess, then.
Yes, we'll speak to you
yes.
soon. It's been good to see you.
Yes, of course.
All right.
Good to see you.
Bye, Hurricane. Talk to you soon, and we'll get done on all the trouble. And
There's...
let's be honest, if we all die, well,
you can't die in the pit. If anybody attempts to kill someone in the pit, they are immediately exiled, which is what I'm hoping for, because their leader has a bit of a short temper.
Good.
You're saying we could really piss him off, and then just everyone of our
That's the
issues goes away?
intention. And
Oh,
Elsyan, do I have a job for
and
you?
Malcolm, have you met your guest?
Yes, my grandfather.
Good. Blitz is currently the judge of the arena, meaning if anybody attempts to take your life, he will intervene.
Oh, Sasha's giggling.
I will piss him off then.
Do your best to do so. Even if it means fighting dirty, do it. I can have some of the judges overlook your performance. I need them out as soon as possible.
I wonder if the ring is considered dirty.
No, it's not. Any magical items go. Dirty would be considered using psionics. Or unmarked magic, as it's known.
Okay, well, meh.
So, as you guys wrap up here, you say your goodbyes to Hurricane. You finish up there. You head back down. You go through the various crowds and what you're doing. This is the last bit I want to get done quickly. As you head into the Undercity to go and speak to Rahal, you're traveling through the main stone corridor that you've always known. It's quicker to go through the bronze cask, your old stomping grounds. And as you kind of go down and into the main hub area, there are a lot of people around. There seems to be a lot more of a boon in the Undercity than there has been in the Overcity, with the influx of more individuals. There's a lot more of a military presence here as well, where people seem to be more prepared to fight at any given time, and people are well armed.
Question: We did get that tunnel through to the Undercity into our place, didn't we?
Yes, you did.
Excellent.
And we've used it once.
Yeah, you've used it once. It's just faster to go through there through the bronze cask. As you go in, you can, as you're kind of looking around, Sasha, I would like you to roll me a perception check, and anybody who's proficient in perception. Maybe.
I'm assuming Elsyan already knows what's going. Oh no, maybe.
No, Elsyan doesn't. Nope, not with that. He doesn't. So anybody proficient in perception.
Okay, so that's
Sasha.
7, 8, 9, 10.
As
11.
this is all going on, you're looking around. Queglod, you're too short to see over the crowd, so I'll just, regardless of whether you rolled a 1 or a 20, if you rolled, doesn't matter. Sasha saw it. As this is all going on, Malcolm, you're very distracted with the crowd, the various shops around, people selling potions, poisons, various other bits and pieces. Sasha, something catches your eye. In the crafting district, there seems to be a small crowd
Spotted.
kind of gathered near the door of the smithing area.
Zoom and enhance. No, I just go over there.
Okay, going over, you can hear what sounds to be the working of the forge. Tang, tang. Sounds to be someone in a striker working on
Please be blitzed.
on a piece of metal. As you get closer, you can see it's a relatively thick crowd kind of circling this area. You can hear the sounds of the flames roaring behind, quite a few people kind of like muttering to each other. You're going to need to barge through the crowd if you want to get a good proper view.
I'm with Sasha. I'm gonna tap Sasha on the back and use fly on.
Okay. You tap Sasha on the shoulder. Sasha, you begin floating.
Okay, just like okay. What I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to like mime walking, but I'm in the air.
Okay.
So I'm.
Yeah. As you
Walking in the air.
as you begin to like float upwards above the crowd, a few people notice this and they're a little bit like, what's going on?
Don't worry,
There's a
official
flying
Dawn
door.
Marshal business.
Yeah. As you float over, you see what looks to be a fairly scrawny and thin humanoid. The individual is there holding what looks to be, with his bare hand, a burning metal longsword of some kind. As he's got the hammer, he is hitting it with one, and next to him is a large floating striker hammer, which is also swinging on its own.
Oh.
Behind him, you see a forge lit with blue, yellow, and purple flame. You've seen this once before at Cassie's.
Yes, I have.
And
Shit, that is
you see this.
Aether fire.
Yes,
was it?
ether fire, and you see this individual working the forge. Surprising strength, bending the metals for having relatively thin arms. You see the individual is wearing a bright orange suit, kind of general nice attire, white shirt underneath, bright blue bow tie, relatively thin features, with what looks to be a gorgeous curled orange mustache, and a little in a kind of a handlebar mustache style, and a mat of orange hair on top as he strikes the metal one after another. You watch as he takes the blade, sticks his hand straight into the fire, puts the blade down, and picks up what looks to be another piece of metal. As he brings it over, this one he seems to like wave his hand in the air, and the striker hammer stops. As he takes out what looks to be a finer tool, as he proceeds to work on what looks to be a sickle. From what you can tell, it seems to be made of gold. As he's proceeding to do some fine work on this piece.
Okay, I've found someone to talk to. I've got a dragon smith. I've got whoever this guy is. I am in smith heaven.
Okay. As you're there, you watch as he continues to work on the sickle. You're floating up above. He kind of notices you, smiles a bit, chuckling. Puts the blade back into the fire and takes out the longsword. Over the next, what looks to be
Okay, here's what I'm imagining, by the way. Like...
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
That fits.
Pop it.
That fits.
Karan, the gorgeous man!
As he finishes up, within 2 minutes, you see he finishes up a longsword far faster than anybody feasibly should be able to.
Oh, I am loving this.
This forge fire, whatever it is working very effectively. And when he finishes, you watch as he places the longsword in a pack, the longsword seems to disappear partway in. Then he kind of ties it off. He takes the sickle, does the same with that in the same pack. And he takes what looks to be a short sword that he's also finished, and he hands it to someone in the crowd. The individual gives him a coin pouch. He takes the short sword. You watch at this point as he kind of dismisses the hammer. The hammer kind of falls down to the side of the forge, and as he does so, he snaps his fingers, and with a simple snap, you watch as a large golden spear appears next to him with what looks to be winged features near the edge of the blade, which is floating.
Oh.
He then proceeds to take a single bounce onto the top of the anvil and just lays a seat on the spear as it begins to float, as he rides it like a broomstick. The crowd parts and he proceeds to float by. You wish to speak to him?
I would desperately want to speak to him,
Go ahead.
but I don't. Oh my god, that was incredible. Who are you? Please tell me everything. Sorry, I get a little bit excited about forging.
Well, hello there.
Greetings. My name is Sasha Smashfist. That was incredible. You were using ether fire. I've only seen that once before. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hello.
Yes, hello. Yes, my name is Bern.
Bern?
And yes, indeed, that was an aether poet. And aether fire.
Oh my goodness.
Pretty rare that someone's seen one of those.
Only briefly. I actually just came back for. Do people know about divine forges existing?
Not really.
Worth a try.
Some legendary smiths would know of them, or people who have heard of them with the divine quest, but not ordinary smiths.
I just came back from another special forge, and well, just I'm having a wonderful time. There's actually a few very impressive smiths in the city. Sorry. Hello. Would you like to like? There's a tavern on the upper city. What's it called? It's like the Shaded Chalier or something.
Yeah. You don't know the name of your own tavern? You should be ashamed.
I
of
You're the
yourself.
one that named it.
The Chalier's
Yes.
Secret. That's right. That's what it was.
Shrouded Chalier.
Shrouded Chalier. There we go.
That's somebody else's.
It was one of those three things.
Yeah.
Shrouded Chalier. I will write you a note for free drink if you would like to have a rest there for a while, because I am deeply interested in your work. Like, that was incredibly fast. That was incredibly impressive. I'm kind of gushing here.
I was planning to go visit that place. Was
Oh, excellent.
told I
Excellent.
could meet some people there.
Oh, who are you looking for?
I think their name was the Dawn Marshal? Or Dawn
shit.
Seeker?
Oh shit, that's us. Okay,
Oh.
come down. I'll show you my fellows. We're the Dawn Seekers. We just came from there, actually. Hello.
Hello. Didn't expect to meet you like this.
Nor did I. I didn't expect to meet you in the first place, but I'm just like, Sasha is like very much like, just as always when there's an impressive forger smith around. Sasha is like kind of just like
Flustered.
fanboy, like, oh my goodness, that was so impressive. Woo! Right. Yes. Come on down. Actually, is there?
Right now, you said?
You can meet us right now if you like, or you can head back to the tavern, whatever you like.
I was just planning to go to speak to a person in the underground.
Rohal?
No. I don't know if you're familiar with Gree?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
agree. Yes,
Oh,
we
yes.
agree.
Oh, I know you guys very well.
Yeah, we're surprisingly well connected.
Hmm.
Yes.
Would you like to speak there then? Or are you busy right now?
Are we busy? Honestly, it's
we
Sasha,
have somebody.
Sasha doesn't remember anything. Sasha's like, no, we're not busy. I'll follow you anywhere, Mr. Forgeman.
Perfect.
We,
Let us go there then.
Yep. Bye, guys.
I
Are
mean,
the
anybody
rest of
that
them
was-
coming?
Yeah, Elsyan is definitely
yes.
following you. He's
Yeah,
sticking with
suppose we
Malcolm, but he's following you. He has indeed recognized the Shishkri approved dress wear you're wearing.
sure. I guess I'm going. I'll be right back. I gotta go outside.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
We're ending
just-
it there anyway, so yeah.
Put it like
That's fine.
Yeah. We were just
Like-
ending there because I realized I was running up to the time limit, and I was like, we're gonna call it there. So as you
Yeah.
guys proceed to talk to one another, going on your general adventure, Elsyan and Malcom following along, Queglod and Ghaakt, you going as well?
Yeah, we'll come along.
I
Okay.
mean,
This menagerie of new creatures,
Yeah.
the party now traveling with a seemingly new and strange individual called Burn, a relatively interesting humanoid who now sits before them on a large floating spear, currently heading to Gree, one of their previous adversaries and dangerous allies. Now, with new histories on the horizon, the burial of Bhold, and back to Adamanthia, the party will pick up where they left off, finishing their pieces and deciding what comes next. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did indeed, or you wish to catch up more on this, I'll be putting the stuff on YouTube. I'm gonna be working on getting the storytime stuff all sorted. Otherwise, feel free to follow. It does help. And yeah, we'll be back on hopefully this Thursday to do Thursday campaign, and then back again on Sunday to do more Dawnseekers. So, hope you have a wonderful day. See you then. Bye bye.
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 Crying over Behold.